Welcome to Liberal 12th Man Show. I'm the Liberal 12th Man, and we are graciously at the Liverpool 12th Man Season End Awards. I know we do have 2 more games left, but our season's pretty much over. So I think it's kind of appropriate that we could get the season award in before anyone else does this kind of concept. We're trying to be ahead of the curve, so that we can keep putting out this content and not follow, but lead the trends. So we brought with us the Irishman. How are you doing today?
Yeah, very well. Looking forward to another award ceremony. Can't be the night out. Got my tux on, ready to go.
Yes, definitely so. It should be fun little ordeal. Put on some of my best attire, best dress type attire. Gave the invites to all the attendees. I see Dua Lipa in the crowd here. I see King Kenny definitely in the crowd here. Obviously, some of the more notable participants of this year for our club, obviously being Virgil and Trent in the stands there. So it should be good. Should be good. So yeah. Let's see. And what is who else do we have in the chat? Let me see who we have in chat. Philip. Big up Philip. Big up to Honesty. Big up to Lee. Do you have any real major reflections for this season that really stand out for you, Brian? Is there anything? There's any super moments that you're looking forward to seeing possibly get nominated or possibly get the nod for best of?
We won a cup final, I suppose. It was a lot of us saying every week, well, we didn't play well this week, but we won. We didn't play well, but we won. We didn't play well, but we won. So I don't really look back on it as an amazing season from a footballing point of view. How long are we saying, oh, well, we played well against Villa and we played well against someone else, and that was really it. So it didn't stand out like it was a pure transitional season. But the moments, yeah, there'll be moments in it because there'll always be moments in a season, but it kind of it ended on a bit of a sour note, a bit of a damp squib. But for me, just to see the youngsters coming through and to see some of the young talent really was the main thing. When I look back on it, considering how it's kind of wound up to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But the cup was great. Cup was brilliant. You never, most fans would love even the opportunity to get that, so you can't knock that. But I think, yeah, definitely. Without having thought about that question before, now that if you'd asked me, I would say just the emergence of the Bradley, Dan's, Clark type players, and to see Dan's taking a chance, and especially to see Bradley really take, and Kwanzaa, of course. I think that's the main thing. Positive.
Okay. Cool. Thank you very much. It's good to see you, Bernie, by the way. Thank you very much. Thanks for the kind words, Philip, too, by the way. It's like, I told everyone, hey, dress to impress. So, we had to bring it out, show a little bit of the LFC there. So we made do, bring out some custom attire. Evening to High Lord. It's going to be fun. I think this, I know that it definitely, this year certainly was a year of ups and downs. I think that there were certainly a little bit more ups than downs, but all the same, the downs were certainly some real gut punches. So I thought, if anything, we can start this off. We have I know we might have another joinee in a little bit here, but we are definitely going to hopefully see JK join us pretty soon. But if not, the show must go on as always, right?
Yeah, just to give him perhaps a little bit of time. One thing you know what I'm thinking? Just as I was thinking there, it was kind of a season, really, wasn't it? Where it kind of the line was an upward trajectory all the way. You know, we
Mhm.
were never really like
Mhm.
all season. It was just going. That line was always going up, and it was just a sudden, like if you plot it on a graph, it would be just basically from August to the end of March, just a line going up,
Right.
and then it just dropped off so quick. You know, that's why it's hard to really get my head around this season. You know, in terms
Right.
of what kind of season it was, because it was so good until that point where just almost in the blink of an eye, we went from talking about 4 trophies to saying, well, we got one and that's all we're going to get.
That's all we're gonna get. Yeah. I think there's parts and
Yeah, I think
points
I was
about
still
this
trying to get
season
over
that were definitely frustrating. You know, the fact that our nemesis, one of our nemesis, quite possibly
Yeah,
even a second nemesis, was a major component in us not being able to achieve or go on to adding to our silverware haul, because yeah, there's certainly some down points on that thing, but there's some good points too, and that's what we want to talk about. The award show is something of a celebration all the same. Despite the fact that we didn't achieve what we wanted to necessarily quote unquote achieve, I still think that it's a success in that it's a success that we've gotten some memories, we've gotten times to spend with each other, in enjoying those memories, those high points, and embracing them as best as we could, and they'll stick with us for for our lifetimes. So it's a time to celebrate, I think, and that's what I wanted to do today. So let's get into this right now. How about that? Let's just get into this. I'm gonna the bring this up, and let's start off with obviously what this is the Liverpool 12th Man Season End Awards. The first category I had was Best Kit of the Year. So we only had three kits to choose from, obviously. I know that we had a lot of people very critical of Nike throughout their tenure with us. I know that it is reported that they're going to be ending their tenure, but all the same,
definitely.
Nike has put out some really, really nice kits for us, and this year was the same. We had the choice of the classic red and white. We had the choice of what some people are calling the Minecraft green and white. And then we had what I was calling the Purple Rain edition, okay, kit, which was the purple kit as well. And I had to look into this envelope. So I'm going to look into this envelope here, see what we are looking at. I put on as best kit of the year the Purple Rain. I thought the Purple Rain was the best kit of the year. I know that it's not. I know, Brian, it's not necessarily your favorite, but you have to appreciate some of the bold choice of colors. I would say the least. The way that they went with the purples and the white, I think was a bold choice and a good choice.
Cool. That's
But
your vote. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have the other pictures? Do you have the other ones?
the other, I do have another picture of it. If another
No, do you
picture
have the
of
other?
this one or the other kits.
Are we getting pictures of the nominees, or are we just getting a picture of the purple?
Oh, I'm sorry. This was the winner. I'm sorry. I said the
Oh, so
honorable.
you've already. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That one.
I picked it. Yeah. Um. So yes, I just picked. This is the best kit of the year. So we can go through and go go on with the show here. This is the best kit of the year. My nominee or my nominee for best kit of the year. Um. I thought that this kit was a very cool kit. I thought it was something of the color choice was cool. We could have easily probably thrown in some of the goalie kits, but I thought that the goalie kits this year weren't as great as some of the other years previously. And I just thought that this purple was it was unique. I liked that it was like the Purple Rain kind of edition again. Like I said, it was like this kind of concept that really, really it popped, at least for me. And I thought it was a unique choice. I'm going to go on to, so the next category that I brought up was Young Player of the Season. Young Player of the Season. Who would have been your nominees for Young Player of the Season if you wanted to put in a choice, Brian?
Well, I thought that's what. Have you already picked it?
I've already picked these. Yes, yeah, I picked them because I didn't
Oh,
get.
okay. Well, you're yeah.
I
Okay.
sent you when I didn't get the responses from the category, so I just ended up picking them just in case.
Oh, I thought you were just telling me what they were going to be. So
My fault. My apologies. My apologies.
I didn't realize I had to send in
We didn't go
actual
through a
answers.
rehearsal, people. That's why this is kind of on
Yeah.
the off the cuff. So we
No, I just
apologize
thought you
for
were giving
on
me
the
a heads up.
stage. Yeah.
I
My
didn't realize I
apologies.
had to fill in the form and
Yeah.
send it back, dude. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
So who? Yeah, no.
Who would have been your nominee? We'll play like that. We'll just say who would have been your nominee. I have an actual winner already picked out, but who would have been your nominee?
Yeah. Like
Honesty says
Bradley be
Harvey
the
Elliott.
obvious one,
Yeah,
but yeah, no,
yeah.
Bradley
Phillips
be.
says
But Harvey,
Bradley.
you see, yeah, Harvey's there a bit. I'm almost going to count him as I know, like you want to say the age wise,
Mm-hmm.
I would, but just because he's there so long, I think I just look somewhere else. And Bradley would be the obvious choice, but
Mm-hmm.
just when I suppose if I thought about it, I'd have to say Kwanzaa probably was actually because he's played a lot more than Bradley has.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Bradley was excellent and he's coming and been great. But over the course of the season,
yeah.
yeah, to be honest, yeah, I probably would have had to say, yeah, hang on, who am I thinking? There's Bradley, there's Kwanzaa, I'm discounting Elliott. Yeah, the other lads are
You
2023.
count Elliott
So
in
yeah,
there technically, yeah,
yeah, I'd be putting it between
but you could
Kwanzaa and
maybe
Bradley
say
for me, and I'd go with Kwanzaa.
okay.
No, I know you haven't, but I'll go with Kwanzaa. That's who I would have settled on.
And
Yeah.
and this is why I
Yeah.
see. This is why something like minds think alike. Like minds think alike. I think that what's interesting about it is let's bring the envelope to the stage here. Open this thing up. See who wins this thing. I think you're right about that. I think you have to give to the young player of the season has to go to Kwanzaa. I know people don't necessarily attest him as being a youth player any longer because he's kind of been with the team out of all the players, he's been out of the youth players at least, he's been there the longest, and most consistently has been on the roster this year. And the fact that this young man has definitely played to an exceptional level where you almost forget that he is a youth academy, like as in just last year he was playing with the under 21s. It's something. I think it's something of a measure. I think he's got a very bright future, to say the least. So
Yeah, and
congratulations to
I see what the lads are. But sorry, yeah, congrats to Happy Kwanzaa. Happy day for Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Days for Happy Kwanzaa. Yeah.
But I
Very
know the
much.
boys are saying they're like that Elliot is 21. Like if we were going purely just on the age thing, then yeah, it'd be hard to look past Elliot.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
would
just
be.
like but I'm kind of looking at even though like I'm kind of looking at it from more kind of the new young players.
Right.
And Gravenberch is a big money signing and all of that. So I'm giving myself a little bit of leeway. But if you were just going purely on under 23, then yeah, it'd be a
Right.
different thing. But no, I'm still giving it to Kwanzaa.
I tried to make the distinction when picking the youth player of the year that they had to have played on as a youth academy player the previous season. That's how I figured it would be. Like that way you wouldn't have Elliott necessarily, or you could even say, you could even say possibly, you could even say Curtis. And technically, if we're going to go under 23 or or something like,
Well, not
what I
like
mean?
23s, yeah.
Yeah,
Because that's your category for winning young player the season in the
yeah,
Premier League is under 23,
right,
which should be
yeah,
lowered. I've always thought it should be the way they're breaking through. I would always have lowered that to 21 for
hmm
the young players. But that is what it is. No, I think he's a worthy winner. There was a lot of Bradley shouts in the chat, but
there were a lot of Bradley shouts. Bradley was certainly a very, very good shout, a very good shout. But I think that the injury and the fact that he came up halfway through the year as opposed to like Kwanzaa, who was pretty much there throughout the entire year,
yeah.
you know, I think made
And I
made the
think he won
distinction.
his play. Like even look at yesterday, there was a choice between a fit Canada and a fit Kwanzaa, and they, they went with Kwanzaa. Everyone went with Kwanzaa, and the manager went with Kwanzaa.
Yes, certainly, certainly, that says something. Well,
It is, Bernie.
this
It
might
is. So
answer a
look
lot
at
of
that.
people.
Think hard. Sorry.
Yes, yes.
It's at least yeah. No, it'd
Um,
be terrible if it's
no,
one
I agree.
obvious
Yeah, it's
answer.
good. We have to think hard about the winner. That comment, yeah, for sure. This one's a category I'd like to see what people think, or who would have been their nominees for this. Um, youth academy player most eager to see with the senior team. So, what youth academy player are you most eager to see with this team come next year? With what you've seen, and that's what again all the youth academy players, whether it's like
Ready,
uh,
Jimmy?
whether it's obviously Bradley, whether it's you could also even put you could I technically put Kwanzaa in there. Um, you
Well,
know,
yeah.
uh,
If I was
Bradley
going to do it,
Clark
I'd put.
Clark could be in there. Those kind of players. Who
Yeah.
would have been yours, Brian?
Well, yeah. The way I'd be doing it, I'd say because I look at it now, Kwanzaa and Bradley are first team now. They're senior squad now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them like definitely do not see Kwanzaa dropping back down.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see Bradley dropping back down at all. No chance. So I would discount them from the players that I'd like to see brought up because I think they've nailed down their place this season.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the likes of Clark and Dans and McConnell and Doak and the young kid at left back that we had, Beck, you know, they kind of haven't. So I think out of those guys, the guy that I would like to see, much as I love Bobby Clark, but look, we all love a homegrown striker that we think might be the next Robbie Fowler or goal machine or whatever. So I'll go with the obvious, the exciting answer would be Jaden Dance, but I don't think it would be long at all before we see Bobby Clark. Clark might get a good
Certainly,
run next year, but Bobby
certainly.
Clark and McConnell have a future. But Jaden Dance, yeah, we all like to see a striker, so I'll go with him.
Okay, okay. Um, and let's see, let's get to the envelope, please. The envelope. I went with Jaden Dance as well. I think I'm very very I'm very very like not optimistic, but like as in I'm very very excited to see this young man get more opportunities, more chances. The brief moments that we got to see of him, he's got some real scoring ability. He's got a little bit of like obvious like youth enthusiasm with him as well. Um, I think that he's going to be a very very fun player to see coming off the bench or even getting the occasional start as well. So
Oh, I think
Ben
the
Doak,
chat
Ben Doak
agrees.
is a shout though. Hi, Laura. I will admit that Ben Doak is a shout. I think the only unfortunate thing about Ben Doak is that we didn't get enough of an opportunity to get any bit of a real judgment call on what to expect from Ben Doak, other than the hype that was already appreciated to him. You about to say something,
I
Brian?
think he was. No, I just think he was the landslide in the chat.
Yeah,
100%. stands,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Exactly. So, this
But
one's the
yeah,
next one
people
is
love a
going to
goal
be
scorer.
interesting to see where you guys go. The next category is going to be interesting to see where you guys go. Most improved player. Who is your most improved player for this season?
Oh, yeah, that's easy for me. That's easy.
Okay.
That to me is real. Yeah, Joe Gomez has to be. Not
Ooh.
from his, yeah, just from where he was. He had lost
Oh
his mojo,
man. You guys might make me like
you know.
change up on the fly here. Let's see if I can maybe
No, I can't really. Yeah, he sticks out to me as someone who I'm not saying like, he was excellent a few years ago, and not that he was obviously not that he was a bad player. I don't need to, everyone knows what I'm thinking. But from where he had gone to the way he's improved, I think, yeah, it has to be Joey G.
okay. Okay. Joey G. What's the chat saying here too? Are they going with Joey G as being the choice?
Gomez, Joey Gomez, good call. Thanks, Jimmy. A good man, clever man. Joe's a rich shout. Oh, I'm not seeing any other nominees. Anyone that isn't saying Joe Gomez, want to put them in the chat. Anyone doesn't, because who else could be? I don't want to mess it up. No, I'm not going to mess with it. I'll stick with Joey.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Like I said, I can I can understand that one. I can understand that one. But because realistically, I will admit, I did think that most improved player could have been Elliott, to be honest with you. I think Elliott has improved immensely. I think Elliott has continued to enhance his abilities, but being where I will admit this is against the People's Channel, being where Joey G was last year to where he is currently this year, I think under that premise, you are pretty spot on. I think Elliott has been the most. I personally thought Elliott was originally was the most improved player in the sense of like he's gone from just like how is he going to fit into this team realistically to now at least being a consistent enough player where you could possibly even choose him to be a first teamer. But
Do you think maybe it's because he's had this purple patch of form recently? Because I'm not accusing you of recency bias, but maybe just because he has been so good. I just think maybe Joey has been a lot better, kind of that level improved the whole season. It's taken Harvey a little bit of time, but yeah, I think yeah, I wouldn't say there's anybody else that sticks out
Van
at
Dyke's a
all,
shout
really.
too. Van Dyke's a shout because there's people that were kind of like
Well,
writing Van
no,
Dyke
not
off
really.
last year as being
Yeah,
like done and washed, and now he's like contending for Premier League Player of the Season. So
I,
this year,
I think that's more of a case of back to his best, isn't it?
possibly,
Like,
yeah,
because
possibly,
yeah,
yeah,
I think that's the way I read that, and more of a back to his best guy. Yeah, because all those people, the whole team was off it last year, so the
yeah,
back line was off it. So I don't think he was even that bad last year. It just wasn't Pete Virgil off the back of a big injury.
yeah. All right, like I said, People's Channel. I
Picky
personally
Wicky.
did think that Harvey was going to be that choice, but let's see who the envelope goes to. Whoops, the
Moonlight.
envelope goes to a bunch of people. Actually, wait, hold on. Make sure. Oh yeah, it should be. My bad. That should have been this. We'll give it to Joey G. You're right. I can understand why you and the chat would say Joey G. I can understand it because I mean Joey G was in the dumps last year, as opposed to
God, he was. Dude, he was sold. He was out the front of Anfield with a swastika
Yeah,
sign around his neck. He was in the bin. He was he was in
yeah,
top of the get rid pile. For a lot of people.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we're good.
That
Not
I will give it to you. I will give it to you that on that. How about this then? This is our next category. Our next category is unsung hero. Who was your unsung hero this year?
damn. I wish I got this first because, like I've been saying all season, that Joey will be literally the unsung hero if we win anything.
Mm, mm.
So if I was to stick with that, I should say Joe Gomez again. But I'll try and think differently. I'll try and think on the fly. You can have a look what the chat is saying. So unsung hero
I'm
would
looking
be
at
Joey Gomez.
the chat. See, the chat is I think more on the lines of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'll see. I'm trying to think what other categories coming up.
Yeah, who else would you
Yeah,
nominate?
I'll go with Queven Keller. Yeah, I'll go with Queven Keller.
Stephen Keller.
Gotta get him in there.
Yes, 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 we do.
I'm not sure there's going to be too many other Keller type categories that you come into. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll give him the unsung hero one. But
That's
Joey would have
exactly
been.
that's what I went with is Keller. I think he has some big shoes to step into. I mean
The
the
Grubs.
ultimate the incredible difference this year would have had if he had stayed. I mean, this is a player that wasn't exactly in the best of form when he was called upon to step into that, first keeper role, and because in the beginning of the year he was kind of like, you know what I mean? He was kind of like there were hints of like what was going on with him, like as in where was his head at, and with goalkeepers it's all about confidence, but but I
He
just I
looks
just
a whole lot younger in that picture on the right than he does in the one on the
yeah, I
left.
know, I know, I know, I got
That
you.
one is from like he's like 6 years or 16
You
years
know, he
old.
looks like he's like 16, 17 years old now.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the only one I could. That's the only one I could find of him in a tux. I told him to wear
Well,
some good duds.
listen, look, man, us Irish boys, we don't like dressing up unless it's absolutely necessary. So you won't find too many of them.
Yeah, that's why I figured, I'd give him a little time to find something. I'm glad that he put the bow tie's not a clip on, people. So hey, look at it that way. It's not a clip on. So I gave him credit for even showing up in a bow tie. Um, The next category is signing of the season. I think this is going to be an easy um, runaway, choice for a lot of the chat, and especially for yourself, most likely. But we had some good signings this year. I mean, like, look, Gravenberch is taking a little time, but he's definitely starting to warm and starting to find himself. Um, Obviously, I've been a big Endo supporter and fan, but Endo was a deal of a signing somewhat in the sense of how much we got him for and how much of an important person or player he has been for us this year. There could have been easily a shout for Dom beginning of the year, not so much towards
No, if
his
he
start
kept up
time.
that form, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, if
exactly.
Dom had
Not that
played
far.
like that all season, we'd be having a different conversation. So, yeah,
Exactly,
100%.
exactly. But McAllister is definitely a strong favorite to win this one, I think.
I think he's a
Um,
walkover, isn't he? Is it not a walkover? Is he a shoot? And Jimmy's gone with Endo. Jimmy's gone with Endo, and I like
I saw that.
I like to think, and I think, but for me, Endo, because of the way the deal was done, and it was a last minute kind of not panic buy or, but a kind of a look, we
Hmm.
just need to get something quick. So the guy, I'd imagine, was only a week. Maybe he found like he probably would join Liverpool about a week after he found out. he might be,
Right.
as opposed to other people who have a month or two. Look, this deal is going to happen in the summer. So he didn't acclimatise. It took him time. That we can all admit that it took him time to come in. But so that for me just means that because McAllister from pretty much minute one, he did his job at the six that everybody was losing their bloody mind about because the guy wasn't ready to come in and play six, Endo. So
Yeah.
McAllister was doing his job, and he did it not brilliant. He wasn't Rodri or anything, but he did a really good job. He was,
He did a really good
he
job.
played
You
that in
got
the
to give him
World
credit
Cup,
for yeah.
Yeah, but it's not his game. It's not what he wants to be doing. And we saw as soon as he could get forward and do what he wanted to do and got comfortable, he started looking like a man on a different level in our team. I remember a couple of games where, especially that one, and I might give it for my assist of the season later on, where he was just so cold on the ball, which is something we have lacked. Cool,
Mhm.
calm, and composed on the ball. That pause at, which is what the South Americans call it, where just taking the time to just stop and pause for half a second, and then make the move. Can't teach that. So to me, he's far and away, he's far and away not our best signing, but the
Mhm.
guy, yeah, he since Anelka, something like that, where I've seen come
There's
in and
some
just have such a touch on the team. But for me, he walks it. He walks it, man. He walks. I won't
yeah,
say it wrong
there's
anymore. But he walks it.
there's let me go through the chats suggestions. Um Macca by Lee. Hyler said Macca. Burnett said Macca. Jimmy, as you said Endo. Philip says Bonker says Spotsline been a pawn since January. Endo, but Endo it was his choice, I think. Philip
Well,
gave a shot for Endo too, so that's three good shots for Endo.
he's been a what since January? Sorry, so Bosnia has been a what since January?
Has been a pawn,
A pawn.
like
Oh,
like
like kind of
chess,
he's been
right?
using him in not his best position. Yeah, yeah, I get it. Sorry, yeah, yeah, I can
Um,
agree with that.
but yeah, Philip gave Endo. What did I say? Yeah, Jimmy says the reason why he chose Endo is because nobody expected him to become the value for money player he is. I agree with that too. That's one of the key portions of that as well, especially as he played D out of position so long. Macca was Honesty's choice as well. Yeah, so it's either probably like between Endo or McAllister. Let's go to the envelope. The best way to see what it is go to the envelope. So let's see who do we have. Uh, who do we have in this, or who we have signing?
What
I
do I
think we have
have?
to go. Yeah, I think you got to go with McAllister.
I won't do it every time.
Yeah, I think you got to go with McAllister.
Yeah, it's good.
Um,
Number 10 suits him as well. Number 10
Number
suits him.
10. Yeah, it's just one of those things. McAllister's like pretty boss. I mean, especially now that we've seen him play both DM and plus the eight role, and occasionally even a hybrid slash kind of 10 role for us in a sense.
That's right. I like
You
him.
gotta give it to McAllister. You gotta give it to
Yeah, I love
McAllister.
him in that little. I love when he just gets free and he. Yeah, like you said, that kind of in between 8 and 10. I love him in that little area, just popping off little passes. That's where I want him.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, our next category, we gotta have of all the good, we gotta have a little bit of the bad. Basement player of the season. So this player is the player that basically was in the basement all year, just never came out, or just was someone that went to the basement and never came out again. Um, the I think the player that wins this, it's not that we don't love you, but it is what it is in
So,
that.
like, basement, like say, we started off with low expectations,
Oh
and
no, meaning
we
like
never
you
even met.
said,
Is
like
that
as
what
in
you
like
mean?
you said he's there because it's just yeah, he's there because he let you down, like as in you sent him to the basement, as in you can't come up.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. He's
Okay.
the biggest letdown. The biggest letdown for this season. What player was the biggest letdown? That's the player you sent to the basement. I think it's pretty much a no brainer as to who this. We might as well just go to the cards for this.
I think, yeah, I'm not even going to get involved. The chat has
Yeah,
spoken.
yeah, I know. The chat pretty much is saying what it is. Um, yeah, I think it's got to be Thiago. Unfortunately, it hurts and pains me to say that, but it's got to be Thiago. Um, so much promise. Um, we saw what he could bring. A player of his caliber can bring uh, to this team. This a player that has immensely incredible skills and incredible uh, talent, but just unfortunately uh,
Broken
has been just
biscuits.
that injury prone player that uh, kind of
Biscuits.
limited him from doing it, and it's not his fault. It's not his fault. I agree, Lee.
No, nobody's blaming any. No, it's never been like it's always been like, look, football, football as much as it tugs at your heartstrings and it makes you think all these things as we do with fans, like you fall in love with clubs, you fall in love with things. But it's at the end of the day, it is a results business.
Mm-hmm.
And when you want your team to do
Mm-hmm.
well, if you want your team to do well, then it is you have to get on board with it being a results business. So
Yep.
these are the kind of guys that you dream of coming to the club. Like I said, it broke my heart when he went to Bayern from Barcelona
Yeah.
because we were in for him. And I said, like, it never breaks my heart because I don't attach myself to players these days. I used to when I
Right.
was much younger. But it's about the club. It's this is the point I try to get across a lot. It's what it
Mm-hmm.
says to me. A transfer signing, a player leaving, a player not joining. It's what it says to me about the state of the club is what hurts me. And it hurt
Mm-hmm.
me that we weren't big enough to attract Thiago to Liverpool over Bayern Munich, and I still consider us to be a bigger club than Bayern Munich.
Yeah,
And I
that's a
thought,
great point. That's a great point.
yeah, I thought it really broke my heart that even he said, came out the usual, oh, I love Liverpool, brilliant, all that. And it said to me, that's the kind of club we are now. We can't attract these guys. And I actually
Yeah.
said it. I said it to someone, I said, we will never sign him. And
Mm.
it's how wrong that shows. That's
Yeah, you
like,
must say you're
I
very
know
wrong with that.
you're invested in him. You're invested in him. You think you're. I don't, but I was massively emotionally invested in this guy because
Yeah.
he's the player I would be. If you say
Yeah.
so, who
Yeah.
could you be? Would you be a striker, a winger? Go. I'd be him, a kind of guy that
Yeah.
can play
Yeah.
like that in midfield, and he's the player I always want to see at Liverpool. So for him to
Uh,
come eventually, and for this, it kills me what happened to
yeah.
him. It really does.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. This is.
wrong manager, probably wrong league. A slower league,
I
probably
think
better off. But
it just ends up being a
high
wrong. Just
intensity.
yeah, the wrong strand in the dimensions of time that just that and unfortunate circumstances. Let's not get it twisted. You know what I mean? Like it's not exactly beneficial that Richarlison was like, trying to take him out the legs. It's not exactly helpful that he has the checkered injuries list history already, but add on top of that the intensity that you have to play at in the Jurgen Klopp system.
Oh yeah, yeah. In England
It's going to be
especially, you're
yeah, and especially in
crazy.
England as well. Exactly. It's like,
Eight
I
hundred
can
minutes a
understand there
season.
are reasons why he possibly chose to go to Bayern over Liverpool initially because, hey, you know what, the amount of pressure and the amount of actual intensity that you're going to come up against is certainly different in between the two leagues, and it possibly gave him a little bit of time and chance to prolong his career a little bit in Germany as opposed to when he came to England. Different story, man. It was from I think the very first game. I think he was getting, hacked and
Well,
attacked.
if you look at the Man City game. That's what people point to. I've seen a few people have better memories from me. I remember him being good, but
Mhm.
when they pointed out that there was one game against Man City where he ran the show. He
Mhm.
ran it from
Yeah,
midfield, and it was like,
yeah,
this is the guy. This
yeah,
is what we bought. This is
yeah.
what we wanted.
Yeah.
But
That's the biggest
when
disappointment was that like that was the biggest disappointment is we got a taste of what we could have had. And if we could have sustained that for an entire like year, much less, let's just say 1/3 of the year or
two
half the year, that
two
would have been
seasons of that would have been probably worth the time to maybe 2 seasons of him fit at his peak. But it's even, yeah, look, you get the hard tackles, but it's just England isn't really like it wasn't meant for him.
yeah,
But yeah, he makes us all sad, I think, to talk about it and think about him because it's not someone we ever wanted
yeah,
to fail, but he's not someone who did fail on the pitch. He still
yeah,
has like I still remember a pass he played against Arsenal, and I still don't know how he played it. I don't know how he played it. He took it on the run, and his
yeah.
foot was going backwards. He was
He could
running
have
as he received the
arguably one
ball.
of the best goals of the Klopp era, to be honest with you.
Unbelievable. Yeah, his
He
first
he
touch
could have one of
was
his
yeah,
goal was possibly one of the most incredible goals I've seen in the Klopp era, to be honest with you. And we've seen a
that
lot of
was
goals.
the
That
one in
goal
Europe.
defied gravity, man. That thing was wicked, to say the least.
Yeah, the one in Europe, wasn't it? It was just the
Yeah.
daisy cutter. I
Yep.
can't remember who it was against. Dortmund. There's someone in yellow anyway.
Yep. Yeah.
But
It was the daisy cutters. Well put. Yeah. Our next category.
oh
Our
well,
next
yeah,
category.
let's move on. The
Yeah,
sadness,
I know.
the
Let's.
sadness.
We're all so sad, so sad.
Yeah.
Our next category, we'll go to a happy point then. Go some happy. The biggest surprise of the year. What player was the biggest surprise for you this year? Kwanzaa and okay, we're gonna have a lot of different choices here. Kwanzaa, Endo, Elliott, all possible candidates for this award. Who was your biggest surprise this year?
That's a tough one. That is a tough one. Because who kind of surprised me in what they did? Not
I
nobody
don't know,
really.
Dustin. Biggest surprise if that's like a is that a shot at Darwin? I don't know.
Oh,
Hey,
it's almost certainly a shot. Yeah, see, I can't keep nominating
I don't know.
Gomez for
Dustin's ready to
everything.
put different players. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I can't keep nominating. I can't keep nominating Gomez for everything. Who surprised me the most this season? Yeah, I'd have to say Bradley. Yeah, I'd have to say Bradley. Yeah, to come in. Although I knew he was good, but he's the one he didn't just play 1 or 2 games. He's played a lot of games.
Right.
So yeah, he didn't expect him to come in. Yeah, that's definitely yeah. He fully qualifies as a surprise. So yeah, I'll go with Bradley.
Burnett says Gomez is for her. Gomez for her. He thought he was on his way out of the club. Very. That's a good shout. It's a good shout. Realism Jared had Bradley. Um, oh, okay. Uh, he's talking about when he almost broke the
Yeah,
chair.
broke the chair.
I got you.
He's still surprised.
Um, oh, okay, I get it. Dustin's going with the actual biggest surprise moment, I guess. Maybe when he tried to break the chair. High Lord went with either Joe Gomez or Endo. Bradley was Jimmy's. And I already said Bonkers Elliott, Endo for Lee, and Kwanzaa was for Philip. Hyler says, I had seen Endo for 2 seasons in the Bundesliga, and I was so shocked when Liverpool signed him. But later, Endo played better than he's ever seen him play at LFC. Couldn't even recognize him. Again, Philip says could be any of Endo, Bradley, and Kwanzaa. All have been great. Have been a great surprise. Yeah, Darwin doesn't stop to surprise all of us. By the way, Dustin. Let's go to the card then. Let's go to the card. I mean, the easiest way to figure out who's the biggest surprise for me was I have the winner of the biggest surprise this year being
Da, 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 da.
yeah the gumshoe, the gum shield warrior.
Endo.
I think the biggest surprise to me, I think, was considering that no one had him on their radar as being someone that we thought we were going to go for initially. Being that we gone from 100 and some odd £1 million player to possibly even a overpriced 60 some odd £1 million player being our DM choice, to some DM who was the captain of his team, that saved them from relegation, and was now being asked to be the man when it came to being our DM. I think that has to be. I think a lot of people changed their opinions on this man towards the middle of the year, I'd say.
Okay, now I see what it is.
Yeah.
So it's not personal surprise. So what we think the biggest surprise for everybody was probably him. But I thought it was more of a personal what our choices were as opposed to surprising the masses. But yeah, like if you asked any
I think most
Wolves
people,
to Aston Villa fan who Endo was or their opinion on him, they would have said never heard of him, mate. So yeah, it probably the fact that we just signed
most
him.
Most people were really like clowning us, especially considering that we'd gone from we'd gone from Casado to Lavia. They were like clowning us as to, this Endo guy, what a joke. You guys went with some guy from some bottom tier Bundesliga team.
Most level-headed fans knew what it was. It was like you didn't get the right guy. So we always used to do that was when we go, and this is what Klopp will tell you. And I never believed it. I always thought it was PR bullshit. That we went for Virgil van Dijk, right? Because we identified him as our number one target, and we went for Fabinho, and we went for Alisson, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we walked away and decided that we weren't going to buy anyone, only our number one target. And people bought that line for a long time, that we only wanted Van Dijk and we weren't going to buy anyone else. That's why we waited. We only wanted Alisson. That's why we waited. I never believed that at all. I always thought that what happened there today, like earlier with the Caicedo thing, we had gone in for Van Dijk. The Van Dijk deal collapses. Klopp would have been like, well, go get someone else. I think they dressed it up as, no, we only wait for, that used to do the rounds all the time. That Liverpool, they're so good at what they do. They're prepared to wait for the right player. I just think that was more circumstance than anything. So it was a typical thing where we went in for Caicedo, and now Klopp had actually more say in things. So back in the day, it would have been, let's just wait. Now Klopp is like, well, look, we can't get Caicedo. You guys are going to say, right, we'll wait till next summer and get the next £100 million DM. Can we just get a cheap guy to tide us over in between? Whereas before, and he made that plain and simple, that wouldn't normally have happened. So that is, that would be the biggest surprise for a lot of people. Like I said, most Liverpool fans, they might have heard of him, they might have seen him in the World Cup, but that was about it. So he would be. Yeah, I mean,
that was the only time I'd ever seen him play. I'm gonna keep it 100. I did not watch him play, or I wasn't like privy to watch him play in the Bundesliga. But I did watch him play in the World Cup because I do follow some nation teams. I tend to follow more so than not, and I watched
Japan. Great.
Yeah,
they were brilliant to watch. I watched most of the games, but I made sure to watch their games, right? Because they kept having crazy comebacks and having brilliant games. They were really good, really, really good fun to watch.
Yeah, right.
Oh no, I agree with him 100%. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, let's move on then, because these ones are going to be kind of like cool to run through to see what your choices would have been for it, what your nominee would have been for it. Assist of the year. Who had the best assist of the year? It was a little bit. It wasn't. It wasn't. Assists are sometimes a little bit harder to depict because, like, we don't have there. This was a little bit easier to pick, I should say, when we had Bobby, because Bobby often was the guy that was giving these incredible assists. Thiago, again, another player that gives some immensely impeccable passes, and that have created an assist or developed into an assist. Was the assist before the assist, in essence. But
we don't have any prompters or helpers here to like memory joggers or anything. See, I'm the same as Lee. I'm so bad at remembering these things. Like, there's that one, the McAllister one that I was talking about earlier on, where he was on the edge of the box and he went to fake to cross it, and he just kind of coolly turned back in and dumped two players and bent one in. That was a McAllister on the right of the box. I think it was for a Darwin header.
No,
those are ones.
You are yeah, I know. Trent Origi was amazing. It's concepts like that, yeah. It's concepts like that. I know it's tough.
I'm trying to remember another good one.
But
there was a good one
that
in
is
Europe.
That is a really good one, though. By the way, though, the one that you just mentioned, that one wasn't a header. It ended up being a it was a flick home. It was to Darwin, but it was like a flick with the foot.
Yeah, because you remember he goes like to cross it, pretends he's going to cross it, and he just dumps two players, one cold touch, turns back in, turns again, and just gives himself all the space. That's when I was like, yes, this guy has the mineral.
This guy has
that
it.
Pause.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of another good one off the top. There was a really good one in Europe, probably, when we bet those guys.
Kwanzaa was a good one too. Kwanzaa, the goal that the Kwanzaa had a great pass that he set up, considering the run, and then he just somehow found Diego, and that was in Europe. That was a really, really good one.
We scored a lot of goals.
The unique thing about this, it was that having to figure out what was the goal of the year. So I watched every goal up to so far, and obviously, because you got to watch the goal of the year, or because I'm looking for the goal of the year, I got to watch all the assists to the possible goal of the years. So, I think the assists might be a little bit harder to remember. I get that. I get your concept of what you're saying.
The concept of memory.
Concept of how difficult it can be sometimes to remember. I'm only saying because sometimes it's a little bit easier to remember the goal than it is to remember the assists.
Even the goals are hard for me to remember more.
But there was I just remember like Bernadette just said, like the Trent to Origi assist was memorable, or maybe even like the and I don't even know if that was the assist actually. I was gonna say the assist, but that was more so the pass to Shaqiri. Then Shaqiri's pass to Mo for that goal was a very incredible. That was incredible. That was two incredible assists. But there's also been a couple, different assists that Bobby made where he's putting on that Brazilian flair, some of the passes, and even Mane's had a couple of those kind of assists where it's like the cheeky little pass. But the assist of the year that I gave. Let me get the envelope for this one again. The assist, September 24th, 2023, in the 3-1 game against West Ham, McAllister's assist to Nunez is the one that I think deserves to be the assist of the year. It was the one where he absolutely just chips a little pass, somehow just chips a beautiful pass into running on pace, in stride Darwin, who ends up and the finish was a possible goal of the year candidate as well, where he just flicks it in. Absolute brilliant goal, but just an incredible
That's
pass.
not the one I was talking about, is it? No. Is that not the one I was talking about? No.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that a
the
different goal?
McAllister chip to Darwin. Yeah,
Oh, that's the one I would. That's the one I meant. Okay, yeah, okay.
yeah,
Now I get it.
yeah,
Cool. Oh,
yeah,
cool. So we agreed on it. Jeez, that's crazy. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I think that was possibly the best assist I saw all year. Um, Absolutely incredible pass. Um, and that brings us to the goal of the year. What was your goal of the year, people? What was your goal of the year? You can put context to it, like the meaning. You can put, what it. You can put like the milestone, maybe. You could put just the sheer like, oh, what a beauty.
McAllister again.
Exactly. Kind of like Jimmy just said, oh, what a beauty.
I'm
To
going
the
Mac again.
goal.
That shot from outside the box. That
The wonder
McAllister shot
goal.
from
The
outside the
wonder goal.
box.
Yes, the
Yeah,
wonder goal.
that's the one I immediately think of. It might be a better team goal, but that's the one
Mm.
I immediately think of. So yeah, he'd get my vote again on that.
Elliott versus Spurs on Sunday was a fantastic late edition. That was certainly a late edition. Trent to Robbo, the cross, Salah to Harvey, 10 out of 10. Okay. McAllister's volley, that's the one you're talking about in the Fulham game. Endo had an incredible goal too in that game.
Yeah, it's 25
McAllister,
yards out, top
yeah,
corner.
McAllister. Dom's first goal against Villa was cold. That goal was cold.
Yeah, we were hoping for a few more though.
Yeah, we were. Excuse me. Mac to Nunez. Oh yeah, Mac to Nunez. By the way, for the assist, Mac to Nunez versus Forrest was an incredible assist as well. Who else? Who else do we see in this list? Yeah, if this, I mean, it would be goal of the year. He said, "Who's Ali's this season?" It was Ali's goal was last season. If Ali's goal last season, it was a nominee, it'd be a runaway goal of the year easily. There was someone else that said someone's Cal's easy Calisters. Realism Jared, BBD's Caribou Cup winner. Shout out to that. I mean, that's got a lot.
If you want context,
Yes. Oh, I said you can. Yeah, you can put. You can. It's it's like your it's your world. You can put the context of what you want towards the meaning of what the goal was for you. Excuse me. The Trent free kick versus Fulham.
I'd only bring context into it
yeah.
if it was like, say, I couldn't say there was two goals, right, and I just couldn't split them because they were both unbelievable, and one was in a home game against Fulham and we're 3-0 up, and the other was a winner in a cup final. Then I would go with the winner in the cup final one. Obviously, I just give it extra points for that, but on any sort of more often, I always just go aesthetically, what was the best goal, what was the most beautiful goal. So I'd always just give it. I don't give too much weight to the thing because otherwise you could say like a particular goal that wasn't great, but most important goal, yeah. But best goal, I think just that Ali strike. I only saw it the other day. The way it goes into the top corner, or the Mac strike, the way it goes into the top corner from outside. We haven't seen them since Stevie. You need someone that can do that every now and again. Just gives people that bit of fear. Because he can just ping it from anywhere. And fans love nothing more than that. Goal from outside the box, first time, top corner at 100 miles an hour. Can't get much better.
That's a good shout. Szoboszlai against Villa was cold, Dustin says. But last game, the over the pitch Trent to Robbo classic. Over the pitch to Salah, and Harvey does everything perfect with a vintage Klopp goal. He loved it. Bonker says Robbo's goal versus Wolves when we came back to win 3-1. That was a really good goal. That was a really good goal. That was like unexpected. That was
We scored
unexpected.
some good goals in Europe as well, didn't we?
Yeah,
We scored some good
McAllister's
goals in
goal.
Europe as well.
McAllister's
No
goal
one's
against
mentioned
Sheffield
any of them.
United.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, yeah, some really, really good goals. Really, really goals. You know,
But I mean,
I was surprised
in Europe,
no one said the Trent Alexander goal versus City. That goal was cold, man. That was a banger
he
where he told
tends
everyone
not
where
to
he
score
quieted the
that
crowd.
many goals. Yeah, Trent tends not to score ordinary goals. When he does score, they tend to be pretty tasty.
Hmm.
That's a good thing about Trent. He's someone else. But no, I was just saying we scored a lot of good, really good goals in Europe as well, and nobody's come up with any European shouts, which is interesting.
Yeah,
I'm sure we
yeah,
scored.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I know we took Toulouse up pretty handily at 7-0. We scored some great goals in that game.
yeah, yeah. We did.
And like if we're
We had
doing
a lot
kind
of
of
goals to choose from. You have a lot of goals to choose from. To get that way.
yeah, if we were doing
Diego's
what's the
goal.
phrase?
Diego's goal that I
Honorable
spoke of earlier.
mentions.
Diego's goal I spoke of
Honorable
earlier
mentions.
from
Yeah,
Kwanzaa.
yeah,
That was a
definitely.
really cheeky, like the one where he kind of like flicks it, back heels it, not back heels it, but like kind of like does that little step over, you know, back heel kind of concept, and like goes between the goalkeeper's legs. That was an iconic goal. Who else? Anyone else
If
say?
you no, I was just saying like you were talking about some honorable mentions, like and you're talking about pure context. That Dan's goal
Oh
in
yeah,
Europe.
yeah. Shout out to that. Shout out to Dan's. The
That
chip.
was a
Both
fantastic,
goals
yeah,
were
the
really
chip
good.
and the header. Except the
Yeah,
goals, the classic goal scorer chip over the keeper when he was
yeah.
on the pitch about what 5 minutes. Like the guy
I
literally
think
walks
that
on
was
the
a league.
pitch
I
and
think that was a League
scores.
Cup game. I don't know. I don't think that was Europe.
Oh,
Was it?
cup game was a cup game, but yeah, it wasn't a Premier League game anyway. No, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
yeah, and then the header, like they were seriously good goals,
Yeah.
and you just had in the context of a young kid, and they'd be up there for the not goal of the year, but very much high in the honourable mentions category.
Hmm. Hmm. Definitely. Big up league. Big up league. Definitely. Take care for this evening. Um.
Take care, mate.
Yeah. Too many. Yeah. Forget it. You can't choose too many good goals. I agree with you, Cedric. There were a lot of good goals this year. All right. Well, then let's just get to let's bring out the envelope, please. Let's bring out the envelope. And let's see who's the winner of goal of the year. I went with context with this one. I went with like the importance of the goal. I went with the sheer brilliance of the goal. Um, and with that alone, I had to give it to Virgil van Dijk's goal header. I know that there's plenty of candidate nominees, certainly honorable mentions. I think the goal. I think Virgil van Dijk's goal was so nice that he had to do it twice. You know, like they took away the first one, which was pretty much a very very difficult but just precise, brilliant strike of a header, and they took it away for some BS. And then for him to be, you know, basically have the Chelsea guy basically draped on him, like pulling his shirt down, his kit down, and for him to like the intensity of the fact that we possibly if he doesn't score that, we're going to penalty kicks, which is like a basic coin toss as to who can win the game. You know, the sheer fact that it was at the dying moments of the game, the importance of the game in the sense of that it brought us our record 10th Caribou Cup. Just all the different implications of what that goal was to me. I had to say that was the goal of the year for me. I mean, it's one of the few goals that has brought us anything that to hang our hat on in a year where we expected to have so much more, but yet the only thing that we do have is a League Cup at the end of the day, and that goal was the sheer result or the sheer result of that. And that's why I gave it as the goal of the year. Great goal, by the way, though. You got to give him that. It was a great goal. What was your game of the season? Brian? What game was like the game where you're just like, oh, what a thriller of a game? Or what game really stood out as being your game of the season? It could have importance.
Yeah,
Context, wherever you want to have on it. But
I think, I think, oh yeah, Dustin, I think that Newcastle game.
yeah,
I think, I mean, even the Spurs game. If you want to talk about the game I'll never forget, I'll never forget that Spurs game. I'll forget all the other
right,
games you played, most
right,
of them. In 5 years' time when you've played 1,000 more. But
right.
yeah, we had some.
We had some. I mean,
Decent
you've got a
shots.
lot of games to pick from because there's a lot of come from
Yeah.
behind victories.
No, but yeah. Oh well, Jesus, sure. But basically, that was our thing all year.
Yeah, it's like half the season.
Yeah. I would have to say that
Is it Newcastle for everyone?
it's got to be. Yeah, it's
Is
Newcastle. It is. It's Newcastle for me.
that's cool.
That was probably one of the most exciting games. But there was others,
Yeah,
of course, but that one not just. That's when you say it's kind of
of
what's that
course.
word association game. So what's the first thing that comes to your head? So when you said to me, it's like, yeah, that's the one. So I'll stick with that one.
Right. Yeah, 10 men. Newcastle. A lot of Newcastle shouts. Got to give it up for the Caribou Cup game versus West Ham, 5-1. Yeah, that was a fun game. Really fun game. Did we go down in that game 1-0 and then scored 5 goals? Or I forget how that game actually unfolded in the Caribou Cup. Obviously, Heiler says, yeah, of course, you have to mention the Caribou Cup final. It should be definitely mentioned. Certainly was. What an incredible game. That was certainly a standout game for our youth academy players. A lot of like inspired performances from those players, as well as some of our, obviously, as I spoke of earlier, our captain who got, in my mind, goal of the year. Newcastle when we were down 1-0 to have again 2 goals that I'm surprised no one nominated for goal of the year. I don't think anyone nominated him for goal of the year, at least, but could have easily been nominees for goal of the year, either one of his strikes. Absolutely incredible moment in time when Nunez bails us out of almost a certain loss, to say the least. It would have been a certain loss. But I'm gonna show you who I picked as the game of the season for me. Can you have the envelope, please? Get a little drum roll. I went with Stefano's choice. I thought. Oh, thank you. Big up, Irishman. Thank you very much. I didn't even know you had the soundboard all rocking and ready, but that's what's up. I had game of the season being the 4-3 Fulham match. I had 4.
I saw I got the shout there. I got loads of shouts in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. I got loads of shouts.
Yeah, we were down in that game. I think we were down. Was it 2-3 or was it 3-1 at one point? We're down 3-1, I thought, right? I think we were down 3-1 in that game. Do you remember?
Oh, I think we were. Yeah, they raced into a lead and then, well, not raced.
And then we scored. And then we scored to make it 2-3.
Carvalho pops up.
Yeah, I could double check. I could always double check for us. Double check for us to make sure, I am like making sure the history is correct. But yeah, that game was that game had us being down in, as was noted, in the 80th minute, us being down in the game where pretty much I think everyone was best case scenario thinking, let's just get a draw out of this game. Like, as in, that game, we all thought, at least a lot of us, or myself included, thought that this game isn't going the way we wanted it to go, to say the least. And somehow, some way, Endo scored that goal, and a glimmer of hope just like was on the horizon, because I was like, what's funny about this game is that, like, Endo's goal wasn't the goal that tied it up, or I don't think it was the goal that tied it up, at least, but it was like one of those cases where you just started to believe, and you just knew from the way that this team always, at least at that point, had always gone down, but always rose above to like get these game winners or get these incredible goals. You just had to kind of believe. All right, so let me I'm gonna pull up this game.
What's this club? That's this club.
Oh, that's this club. Yes.
That's not just like you ask anybody. They all go back to St. Etienne if they're around, but that's what we build on. That's our whole reputation. It's like
that's
other teams' heads.
Mm-hmm.
We're 3-0 up against Liverpool. We're coasting. They just got one back. It shouldn't work, but it does. You just feed off the past almost. It's weird. Like, we just do comebacks like no other club.
Yeah.
No. It's our stock and trade. Gets in the DNA. Right. It gets in the DNA. It just
that
goes.
Game. Brad, can I run through this game for you? The details of how it unfolded?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
So the first goal was an own goal. So we got 1-0. That was an unusual circumstances for us, right? Go up 1-0 in the game. Hey, all right. Yeah. And it was an own goal. But when Harry Wilson, the former Liverpool player, goes on to score and knot it up at 1-1. Robinson gave him a great assist. And when it was almost like, of all the players to score for Fulham, it has to be a former Liverpool player, in the 24th minute. Because we scored in the 20th minute, and then Harry Wilson scored in the 24th minute, just 4 minutes later. And then McAllister scored that, and it's the goal that's pictured in that left. That's the game he scored that absolute wonder goal. That goal was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, in the 35th minute, 36th minute. And then, so incredibly immense. We're up 2-1, thinking we're going to go into halftime, going to the half, up 2-1. And then Kenny Tate scores some BS goal for them. Had to go to VAR as a review. We go into halftime 2-2. We bring in our subs. They bring in theirs. We're thinking, cool. We're still gonna push past this team. We're still somewhat controlling this game. And then De Cordova Reed scores the goal. We're down 3-2 at this moment. In the 80th minute, we're down 3-2. And again, my bad to the Gum Shield Warrior. I think it was at that moment when I think people started to really, really everyone had their moments throughout this entire season. Everyone had that moment of brilliance, or that moment where you could say, oh, this is your moment to shine. That was easily Wataru Endo's one of his most brilliant moments to shine, when he scored and knotted it up at 3-3 in the 87th minute. that made you say, "Is there a chance?" I think that moment, I think that was like such a great moment that you said to yourself, "Okay, maybe that's going to be the final moment. That's it. Cool." We got our moment from him, and it was from an unexpected goal scorer being Endo, and then Trent Alexander-Arnold's absolute incredible. He got the ball, turned on it. He kind of like swivel pivot, did like a little swivel pivot, in essence, kind of like volley-ish style shot, and just absolutely put it into the bottom left-hand corner. Slid into the corner flag. Was absolutely going incredibly insane for that moment.
Love a knee slide.
Yes.
Love a knee slide.
Love a knee slide. Exactly. That game was my game of the year. That was the year where you got your wonder goal from McAllister. You got your not unsung hero, but you're like surprise. Here's your spotlight moment. Your unsung hero, not unsung hero. I kept saying unsung hero, but your cult hero moment. Okay, from Endo, and then you got your purely spectacular moment from your vice captain, Trent Alexander-Arnold. So good of a game. Such a good game. Such a good game. So, all right. Let's go on with the player of the season. Who was your player of the season? And Realism Jared, I will bring up your question. I'm gonna start. Start a question. But every goal was a pure classic in that game. Wasn't it, Bernadette? Every goal was a absolute pure classic pretty much for us in that game. You had your gift of a goal being the own goal. You had your incredible goal, wonder goal from McAllister. You had your incredible goal from Endo, and then Trent with an amazing goal. Oh, what an amazing game. But player of the season, who is your player of the season this year? Who is your player of the season, Brian? A lot of nominees I think that you could have for this. I think Virgil van Dijk is a nominee for the player of the season. I think McAllister is a nominee for your player of the season. You can even say possibly Joe Gomez is could be a nominee for your player of the season. You could say maybe Kelleher as a possible nominee. Who are some that? Is there anyone that you would have nominated for this?
I would. I'd have to go back to McAllister again. Nobody's really impressed me. Like Virgil has that. Virgil has that thing where he's so good all the time that you don't notice how good he is. So he tends to get, underrepresented or whatever, But look, he is like Healer was saying. He's probably like it's a great season for him. But I would still have to just say, just for the impact he's made and the promise that he seems to have, it have to be Mac. Has to be really. It's not even kind of a close call. Like Virgil would probably be second there just for doing what Virgil always does, which is shows you how spoiled we are that we can have it like how shaky we used to be. He comes in and he changes the whole culture defensively at the club. Literally changes the defensive culture at the club in the space of about 6 months. But I can't not give it to Mac 10. Has to be him.
Okay. Let's see. I think as Bernadette, I think Bernadette's giving it to Virgil, possibly. I don't know if that was for or not Virgil, excuse me, for Trent. I meant. I think either that or she might be referring to the praise from the goal from against Fulham.
The other thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Hylor gave it to Van Dijk. He says Van Dijk is probably the best defender in Europe this season. Dustin gave it to Maka. Philip gave it to
that's what I'm saying. We're so used to this guy being so brilliant that we don't even notice it anymore. It's just so because he is regularly one of the best in the world, and we just take it for granted. We take it for granted now that we have him.
Realism Jarrett said, without Endo, we don't challenge because he gave Mac the chance to shine further forward. That's an interesting shout. Interesting shout. Player of the season for Endo. Big up to that. Bonker said McAllister. Stefano goes with Virgil. Okay. All right. Definitely get your nominees out there right now if you can, if you want, so you can be on record saying who you thought was your player of the season this year.
Stefano goes
yes,
Virgil.
Bernie gives it to Virgil. Says she's giving to Virgil. Says as captain because we fought for top of the league and we've won a trophy for sure. And definitely so. So let's I guess with that said,
split that.
Yeah, it is. It is split.
Isn't it a little bit? Yeah.
It's not a runaway as you would have thought.
No.
So I guess that means once again, let's go to the envelope.
Oh, wait, one sec. Wait. Oh,
yep.
Holy hell. Hang on.
Yep. By the way, that's awesome. By the way, I'm sorry. Thank you. Let's go to the envelope. Real quick shout. Jimmy said Virgil van Dijk as well. Got his vote in last minute there. Okay. Let's do it. I went with our captain, Virgil van Dijk. I know McAllister is a strong shout, but Virgil had the tux already, so I had to give it to Virgil because I couldn't McAllister. I couldn't get any pictures of McAllister in the tuxedo, but for other reasons why I gave Virgil the player of the season this year. Out of all the players, he is a nominee for actual player of the not only the season for us, but he is an actual nominee for player of the Premier Player of the season as well, which kind of helped push him ahead, in my humble opinion, kind of pushed him ahead of Maka, being that he was contending or is in contention to win actual player of the season for the Premier League. So I had to give it to Virgil. So big up. I don't have my pocket square in. I gave my pocket square to him, but I think we're wearing the same suit jacket. So big up.
Well, apparently I timed up really. I think Dortmund must have just scored because Jared thought I was saying hang on.
Oh yeah.
It's like no. We're just shambolic around here. I wasn't ready.
I see that.
That looks to me like a velvet tuxedo.
Yeah.
That to me definitely looks like
he's
wearing that.
This is velvet too.
Tux. Is it? You don't want to know where velvet comes from.
No, you don't.
I'm going to continue. Yeah. Are they 2 up? So Dortmund are 2 up over PSG. Second half.
Embarrassing if that's the case because they're playing in Paris, right?
They certainly are.
Okay, so this brings us to our final award of the day. This is an award that isn't necessarily a nominee style, or I guess you could say it isn't. I mean, every category has a nominee, but there wasn't. I think this year alone, judging by what we had to go through this year, I wanted to make an award for a player, or I would say not only a player, but or for someone connected with the club in one way or another that deserves the Lifetime Achievement Award. You know how like they give away Lifetime Achievement Awards always in these Academy Awards, or or the award shows, they tend to give like this award to someone.
Yep.
So I don't know if you want to do the drum roll for this one.
Oh, dear, are we going straight to it? Okie doke. Let me get
Yeah.
the band. The band aren't ready. The band are sleeping. Come on. Okay,
Oh,
here we
my
go.
fault. Unless
Here we
because
go.
like I think that this one
No,
is like, this we can discuss it, but go ahead.
no. I can do it. Wait, here we go.
Okay.
We're not getting paid
Um,
for that.
not getting paid for that, but it's all good. It's all good. I appreciate it all the same. We're gonna go to this. The envelope is almost not necessary for this one. I gave the Liverpool 12th Man Lifetime Achievement Award to Archizer. I had to figure out one way or another to give some type of appreciation to this coach that will be leaving us in 2 games, people. 2.
Yeah.
We only have 2 more games. We have an away and a home fixture left to enjoy this man here. And he has brought us some very memorable memories. He has certainly, as you can see, he dressed, he put the glasses on just to give us a nostalgia thing, but but he is someone that I know that he might not be the greatest coach of all time when it comes to Liverpool history. I know that he arguably could, but most likely won't be getting a statue of him at Anfield. But he has certainly created a lifetime of memories for me. I think I can speak possibly as bold as to go. I'm certain he's given memories to all of you as well. I also think that this individual, say what you will about his career, say what you about how he could have and should have possibly won more, but it's the sheer fact that he did win, and the sheer fact that it was 30 some odd years ongoing for us to have never have lifted that Premier League title, and the sheer fact that this coach wrapped up the title in the record time. Actually, it's the earliest to have locked up the Premier League. Great individual. I'm going to definitely miss his anecdotes and his whimsical, laid back approach towards press conferences. His very dude-like, zen-like approach towards the game, and just the sheer element of the fact that this guy has brought something that I didn't know if I was ever going to see, and that is a Premier League championship. And I really do appreciate him for what it is. That's my lifetime achievement.
Those 4 officials won't be sad to see him go.
Yeah,
they won't have tinnitus now after 6 months.
Yeah,
he brought the energy, man. He brought the energy. Like I mean, I know a lot of people laugh at it, but I think it's one of the best things ever was when like he did his hamstring sprinting.
Yeah. Oh, what a moment! What a moment!
Basically, laugh in the face of a 4th official.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, it wasn't a good look, but it was just that's a man that can't control his emotions, how much he feels about the club. And if you can get someone like that, which we've spoken about before, you can't expect it from the next guy.
Right.
But it's some people who just get the club and get the people that they know Scousers want to laugh more than anything. Yeah, they
Right.
want to win. Yeah, they want this, they want that, but more than anything else, they just want to laugh.
Yeah.
Scousers love having a laugh, and he's someone that just he took it seriously enough to be able to win, but at the same time could just everybody felt like I could go and have a pint with him. Like, not that you
Yes.
would, but you know what I mean. I could go and
Absolutely.
have a drink with that guy. He
Absolutely.
could like Guardiola or Arteta or these kind of guys. Yeah, you might have a glass of wine with them or having a polite conversation, but you could go out on the beer with Klopp and he'd be great fun. That's what
Yeah.
people got with him, and you can't fake that. You're just born
Yeah.
like that. It's not something you can learn. It's not a it's not a disability if you don't have it. You know, it's just. But that's why Klopp connects. You
Yeah.
can't buy that kind of connection. This next guy, we might get really lucky, and he's really good at it too. You know,
I
people
hope
get to like
so. I
him.
hope
But
he is. I hope he
yeah,
is. Yeah.
but Klopp walked in the door, and I think he had that thing where, oh, this guy's a great comedian. He's this, he's that. But when he came in, he kind of just proved it because he has something unquantifiable about him. It's something that
Right.
you can't explain about him. It's just the way he is, the way he talks, the way
Yeah.
he projects himself.
Yeah.
It's just his personality. His personality is magnetic. It's
Yeah.
entertaining. It's fun. You know,
Yeah.
and I don't think in any way is he the normal one. He is one of the most abnormal ones. You
Yes.
know, it's just, but he connected in that no bullshit kind of way to the
Yeah.
fans. The
Yeah.
fans could look at this guy and go, hey, look, he's a multi millionaire
You
by the
connected
time
with
he
him.
even
You
gets,
connected.
yeah,
You
but he
felt like you could,
connects
if
with
you were to
normal
actually
people.
be approached by him, you could actually strike up a conversation, possibly, or or as Bernadette said, like if he were to give you a hug, you'd actually it'd be like that, like fatherly style hug of like, acceptance or appreciation or that like that
A lot of
gratifying
those videos,
style hug. Yeah,
yeah, you remember a lot of those videos that came out after the Champions League final where he's up at 6 o'clock in the morning still on the beer, like just like everyone else
yeah,
was.
yeah,
People could look and go, yeah, he's there in his t-shirt and his shorts on the beer, just like we
yeah,
all would be. Because
yeah,
not that it means as much, I don't want to put it that way, but it's just, he's just a football fan and he's a guy and he's celebrating it the way everyone else would, not,
yeah,
and he didn't
yeah.
mind it. It's like getting out, he had fun with it. So people can connect to him. Yeah, and Jared said that he has the intangibles. He
Yes,
just has that, charisma,
yes,
all those things. It's why Ryan Gosling is a superstar and someone else who's just as good looking as him isn't. It's Gosling has the charisma, he has George Clooney, all these guys, they just have that X factor. He's just one of those
yeah.
guys. That's why I say the guy that comes in after him needs a
Got
really
some
big
big
pair of
shoes to fill.
stones.
Yeah, it's got
Yeah,
some big shoes to fill.
but
It was never going to be
guarantee I
easy.
wouldn't.
Whoever it was going to
No,
be,
but
whoever it
uh,
will be, much as was
yes,
going to be.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just said a fully deserved inaugural, the first lifetime achievement award on the 12th man channel. Guarantee, yeah, just a very worthy first time ever winner of what will sure to go on to be an achievement that is as valued and rated as highly as a Ballon d'Or will be. But
Yeah.
we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get
We'll
there.
get
But he
there.
is,
We'll get there. We'll get
yeah,
there.
he's the first name etched into the trophy. There isn't a trophy, but he
Yes.
is, don't even expect any silverware out of this. But yeah, no,
I
a
can.
worthy winner, man.
No, there's a
Yeah.
yeah. There's a. Stefano says, Do you two think Klopp deserves a statue? Bear in mind, King Kenny doesn't have a statue. Neither does Stevie G. I could answer for my answer real quick. My answer would be, I wouldn't expect for him to have a statue simply for that reason alone, which is what you just said. But I would even go as far as to say he might not get a statue, but I think I wouldn't mind seeing a stands named after him in the same way that there's King Kenny has a stands named after him. Some stands, maybe like I put it out there earlier this year. I thought that maybe the additional tier that was built on maybe the additional tier gets named for him as being this the actual, like, you know, the Jurgen Klopp stand or the Jurgen Klopp tier, whatever you want to reference it as. In my
I like I like Dustin's shout there that you wait, you give it time to you don't throw one up while he still could be a manager. You give it that bit of time. Because, like you say, I'd imagine there's some other people that should get one first, but it's probably a real estate thing. I mean, how many statues can you put up around Anfield? You can't just, just some crappy one stuck in a corner somewhere.
I know. I
you
get.
want
I
one
get
front
you.
and center.
I mean, like, look, we get here or in Philadelphia. There's some that will make fun of it, but I don't really care. But we have a statue of Rocky. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I've seen the pictures.
So, that's a fictional character.
Yeah. You see, the thing is, like, the guy will get something, but it's like someone said earlier on. There's so many good things to choose from that it's like, where do you even start? Like when it said, "Oh, should Klopp get one?" Then you say, "Oh, we're going to do a Klopp one," and people say, "Well, where's our Kenny statue?"
Right.
Where's this guy's statue? Where's that? But I'm just, I mean, if you put one up in the city, you can't do that because it's Everton and Liverpool. So you have to put it up around Anfield. So I haven't been there since they've remodeled everything. I can only, like, what I'm saying is, if there's only like a certain space, you don't want to be like the guy that gets the statue to, like, in the car park or something. You want to have a kind of front and center. Yeah. It's like, if you're going to give me one, give me a good one. Not out by the toilets or something. The Jurgen Klopp hot dog stand or something. So no, Barney's thing about the training ground, because it was here when he was instrumental in the training ground thing. So the Jurgen Klopp academy, that'd be something like that would be good. But we've got we're spoiled as a club. We're spoiled as a club of all the statues, because they already have Aguero and Silva statues up at Man City. Those boys are still alive and playing. Well, Silva, I mean, they didn't even wait to stick up these guys because they've no legends. They're new legends.
So it's there's only two statues, right? I believe, right? And the two statues are, did Stefano just say? Yes, yeah, he did. I think he just mentioned the two people that have the statues. Yeah. Because there's two gates at the stadium, and the two gates are named after Shankly and Paisley, right? And then
Shankly gates and the Paisley gates, and then you go and you see Shanks with the holding his arms up. The one where his arms are up out wide. He's holding up a scarf. That's the Shanks one.
Yeah.
And
then the other one is and then I think the other one was by the main stand, if I'm not correct, right? It's like, but it was just brought. It's a pretty new addition, tell you the truth, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Because I think it was 2000. It was right after we won in 2019, 2020. I think it was the 2019-2020 season. They raised it.
I don't think we do. I don't think we do statues. That's the thing.
Well, there's the one. There is a Paisley one. There's a Paisley was. Paisley. There's one where it's like it's like he's celebrating. It's the Paisley celebration one.
But to me, it's just like the statues thing is. It's kind of a newer thing. Like every club would have sort of a statue of, maybe, if not every club, but a lot of them. The older ones would have a statue of a famous player, but this thing to me is like, when's he getting his statue? To me, is like, it's a bit odd. It's just that, since when is that the thing? That defines recognition. It's a strange thing. It's a new. It's doesn't really. The fact that someone doesn't have a statue doesn't really mean they're not accepted. But it's just like, it takes statues. To me, they don't. They're great and all that, but I don't need a statue to tell me that someone's a Liverpool legend, or that they're worshipped, or and they're great things of recognition. But like this, what I'm saying is like
King
Liverpool
Kenny
has
does
so
have a
many
statue, but it's
statue.
not at Anfield. But yeah, I get you.
Yeah, there's so many. We have so many statue-worthy people that you have a whole row of like Tiananmen Square terracotta warriors around the whole stadium. There's so many of them that need it. So, look, it's great if it matters to people that they get it. Cool. I hope they do. But to me, it's I mean, they're just statues of people. You can only put so many up.
Mhm.
This is what I'm talking about, the Aguero one and the Silva one. I mean, that just shows how
Yeah,
recent and cheap Man City are,
Stefano.
that these guys haven't even stopped playing and they're still throwing up. Whereas we're still going, well, does Kenny deserve one or not? It's like that's how good a club we are. That it's like, well, if we
Mhm.
put one up, we put one up for one of the greatest players of all time. We haven't put one up for him yet. And it's, I again, look, I'm not tearing down statues, no pun intended, but it's fine. It's just okay. But they don't really make that big a difference. Like the guy will, yeah, he is. He's one of our greatest ever modern managers, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Statue, no statue, plaque, no plaque. He broke the curse. He got us our first Premier League. He did it.
It real quick too. Like, yeah, no problem, Cedric. I understand. It's a tux is a rental. If you got to get it back, you got to get it back, Cedric. I understand. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah,
Appreciate it.
don't get caught out on that, man. Yeah, you don't want to
Don't
pay
get
that
caught
extra
out. Those
thing.
late fees are a
No,
pain in the butt.
no. Yeah,
Um, yeah, I was gonna say Stefano is right. There is a King Kenny statue, but it's not. It's at the Shankly Hotel, I think.
okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but
And you see
there is
some
a.
of these recent ones as well. They've done. You want to be
Is it
careful getting
is it
statues. And you see
true?
some of these recent ones. The Ronaldo one, you've surely seen that. The one that
Oh
seems to be more melted.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta, you gotta make sure you get the right people in to do a statue because it's going to be there for a long time.
Did Manchester City do what I? Do they have a statue of Steven Gerrard? Do you
Sorry,
know about that?
no. Did Man City have a statue of Steven Gerrard?
Yeah.
No,
Does
not
anyone
not
know
an
in the
actual.
chat? Does anyone know in the chat if that's true or not?
Well, no, you wouldn't have a
Please, if you do in the
statue.
chat, please. They have apparently they have Manchester City have unveiled a statue of Steven Gerrard outside of the Etihad Stadium to acknowledge his role in the club's 2014 and 2022 title triumphs.
That's the biggest April Fool's joke I've heard in a long time.
Yeah,
I don't know where that's
I'm
coming
hoping
from.
that's an April Fool's joke.
No, that's an April Fool's joke.
It has to be, right? Okay.
No
Okay,
comment.
we'll go
No
with that.
comment needed.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, Ronaldo and Piers Morgan statue. Yeah. I mean,
That'd be horrible. Oh man, but I let's just get back to this. I think that it would be interesting just to if I don't know. King Kenny, since King Kenny has a stands named after him, I don't know if King Kenny gets a statue erected for him. But again, there should be some way and somehow that they they honor Jurgen Klopp. At It'd be great to see him honored at Anfield because he
he will
definitely
be.
he resurrected the the championship presence or that championship era, or you know what I mean, or at least that royal context behind Liverpool certainly was could be accredited to his contributions. But
But
all
if you look
good.
at the guy, he said he didn't want a trophy for it.
Yeah, I know, but we still got to give it to him. We still got to give it to him.
Like he'll get his stand. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. There's no Shankly stand. There's no, there's no
Yeah.
Paisley stand. So it's again, to
By the
me,
way,
it's more about.
I do want this jacket. I want to get that jacket. That jacket's fire.
Yeah, to me, it's just it's a recognition of somewhat, but the real recognition comes in other ways. But you should wait. Basically, if you're still that good in 20 years, Like, look how long Dalglish had to wait. You've
Oh
only got
yeah.
one more stand to do, which is
Look at how long.
Cop.
Look,
Cop.
Paisley had to wait till 2020.
Yeah, exactly. The Cop.
2020 is when
Yeah,
they brought
yeah.
that they erected the Paisley statue, and he's well deserving of it,
Yeah.
for sure.
Where do we? So we're basically looking at. Does anybody think he's done? I don't think he's done. I think he might 6 or 8 months off.
Hmm.
That's it.
Hmm. I think he's
And
going to
we're
do a
going to see him at a
sabbatical,
big
and
club.
then he'll do a
Yeah, we're going to see him
sabbatical.
back at a big
Yeah,
club, man.
yeah, he'll do a
Don't be
sabbatical. He'll
surprised.
show up at a couple of games, couple of Liverpool games. That'll be like kind of like big headlines. Maybe he shows up for like the Man U game or something like that. Um, and then you'll see him start to get that itch again. I think to come back. Where and
100%.
what team he comes back for? That's a I think that the German team fits him the best, because the Germany team would allow for him to have a lot more time to spend with his family. It's not as rigorous of a schedule as a club management team, would be. When you're managing a club,
Yeah.
it's a full year, almost like every day
Oh
of the
yeah,
year style concept. When you're in an
and
international
he's
team, albeit it's important
yeah.
that you have all your ducks in a row and ready to go, but it's not as vigorous, or rigorous,
Oh
excuse me, as
yeah,
rigorous as a club
yeah.
team.
No, I don't. I know. Yeah, no, no. Hey, come on, man. We all know that. You're talking about a 3 month a year job,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Yeah, no, we like you're talking about. Yeah, that is the big difference between Inter. That's the big problem. You only get these boys every
You know what would be
two
very
or 3 months.
interesting?
But no, I'd just say quickly, my money on him is
Could you see him go to
Madrid.
PSG? Could you see him go to
No, my
PSG?
money. I was just going to say that. I was going to say my money on him next job. This Germany thing, it might happen, and he might do it for a little while because Nagelsmann leaves and it's their farm or something.
Mhm.
Maybe that might work out, and he'll think, yeah, it is a good way to just basically do nothing for 2 months and then get back in, get some good money. My money is on Real Madrid. That's where I see him. That's where I see him is Real Madrid because
If
they
Jurgen
will look at a
Klopp,
big coach.
if Jurgen Klopp goes to Real Madrid,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that would be such a that would. There's no way I would want to. I would be like, all right, his plans for the statue.
Telling you, man.
Because I mean, like we most likely would be some way and somehow it'd be written in the stars for us to have to like either play them to get to a Champions League final, much less have to play them in a Champions League final. And could you imagine Liverpool having to play Real Madrid with Jurgen Klopp as the coach? Could you imagine that,
Oh
Brian?
man, I would whatever money I put on that, I would put the mortgage on us, Liverpool, as a club, facing him as a manager of an opposition team in the Champions League. Again,
Mm-hmm.
he's not finished in man. He is not. People seem to think he's done. He's retired. He's not even 60. He's not even 60.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is not finished. He is not done. Be it AC Milan, RB Leipzig, whoever it is, I would be. I would put my money on the fact that yeah, it would depend on a draw. But he will be managing a club that plays in the Champions League within the next 2 years. And yeah, by the look of a draw or a group stage, we could easily be facing a team that he's managed. He's going to take over a big job. It could be a Roma, Inter, whoever it is. He's going to come back. He's not done. He's not riding off in the sunset. And that's it. I'm finished with football. He'll take maybe 6, 8 months off, enjoy the Euros. But like you said, he'll get that itch again. He'll
Yeah.
get that itch. His whole life is football.
Yeah.
So do not be surprised if you're sitting there watching your TV. Never, never, never say never in football, lads. You're
Yeah.
sitting there watching your TV. It's Anfield on a Champions League night. The music is playing, and Jurgen Klopp is walking out as the manager of the opposition team. That's what football is all about. I wouldn't write any of it off. So yeah, that's.
Could you maybe
I just think
this could
Ancelotti
be
goes.
Mhm.
Ancelotti goes. They don't get Klopp's there because you can imagine the money you'll be offered to go to manage some clubs. Imagine the money he'll get offered.
Oh, he's gonna
Big,
get offered a bag wherever he
big,
goes. Yeah,
big
he's
money.
definitely gonna get offered a bag. But hey, you know what? There could be the possibility that, hey, who knows? Maybe 2, 3 years down the line, maybe 4 years down the line, he says, you know what? He does his Daft Punk and says, one more time.
Well, I didn't even want to go that far, but could you imagine him? Could you imagine him back in the Premier League, not at Liverpool? Could you
He said he's
imagine him
not going
back?
to do any other team. He's not going to coach any other team in the Premier League.
Telling you, dude,
It still gives him
telling
some
you.
outs because that could be technically. Well, what if Leeds United comes back to
Yeah,
the league? You know, he could coach them, or he technically could coach Leicester or something like that. Um,
saying, just saying, never write it off. Never say
yeah.
never in football. All
Let's
we
answer
know
some of these
is he's
questions
leaving
for the
Liverpool.
people.
Cool, yeah, cool, cool.
Let's
Yeah,
answer
should
some
we?
of these questions before we get out of here. This was a question from Realism Jared says, question, 12th Man and Brian, please predict when we will win our 7th UCL. Well, you got to be in it to win it. So fortunately, we do have the 2024-2025 season to at least give it a run.
Yeah, yeah. I think with the age of our squad, with a new manager back in it, if it works with him, if he comes in and he gets us playing, if it works with him, the young players who have the age that we have, Sabazza, McAllister, Kwanzaa, Bradley, Trent, all still young players, get exposure. 3 years, 20, I think he's 3 years. Yeah.
3 years? That's good. That's a good shout.
Yeah, I'd say three. So that, what are we now? 2027. I think we could do it in the next 3 years, and that's not a bad. I mean, nobody, hardly anybody ever wins that thing. But so hardly any other club other than a few big ones win that thing. So if Arne Slot could win a European Cup, my God, Arne Slot wins the European Cup for Liverpool. I said it out loud. Yeah, in the next 3 years, that would be some achievement. But pieces are in place.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. It's not 2-0 in the game. It's 1-0 in the game. So they're up 2-0 aggregate, I guess. Right? Gotcha.
Yeah, they won 1-0 away. Or they won 1-0 at home. And I mean, PSG, they still haven't managed to score with all their talent and all their money. They still haven't even scored a goal.
Yeah, that's horrible if they can. I could see us winning it in. I think the experience that we're going to get from next year is going to be valuable for a lot of these young players and for a lot of players that have never really experienced it with this badge on their chest. I think that it could be redemption for some players as well to achieve obviously a UCL. So I can see us winning it in 2 years. Give us 2 years. And it's just that's like, pie in the sky, 2 years. But I think that,
Get your recruitment right.
Yeah, we get our recruitment right. We get our recruitment right, and whatever system it is that we're going to do ends up being it. I'd say 2026. Yeah. Let's see. Next question.
A solid base, I think, in this squad.
Yeah. That does depend on whether Salah's going to be there or not, too. Could help. Burnett says, would anyone take Klopp back if Arnie didn't work out and Klopp wanted to come back? I think I answered my question that question this earlier actually by saying, "Hell's yeah, hell's yeah." I don't we were optimistic and we all saw King Kenny come back to manage the club for a second time. Why not Jurgen? You know, why not Jurgen? That's my opinion. You have a take on that, Bry?
Yeah. Um, first rule of football: never say never. Second rule of football: never go back. No exceptions to every rule.
Yeah,
Exceptions to every rule. Robbie
yeah.
Fowler, King Kenny didn't work when they came back. More often than not, never go back is a solid strategy.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I would say no because it would be trying to recreate um, lightning in a bottle, as you say over there. You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
it would be trying to bring back the old days, and the old days are always gone.
Mhm.
So it's yeah, for me, it's always never go back, especially after like if he left with unfinished business, say after 2 years or something, you know, and he'd always, you know, something happened and he left. He always, but it's after 10 years. So he becomes back, you know, 40. No, that for me would be a no because you just need to keep moving forward. But that is not to say that it wouldn't work. But just for me, just as a rule, just as a general guide rule, never say never and then never go back. Rule number three is the law of the X. X players always score at former clubs, like you were talking about earlier on. Harry Wilson scores against us. Yeah, I said Carvalho scores against Fulham. Elliott scores against Fulham. But yeah, no, it to me at this stage, it would be just a no because it, more often it just doesn't work. The thrill is gone. It's like
Mhm.
and
The
it's in
thrill is
life as well.
gone.
It's not just football. Never go back in terms of exes. We've all been there. We've all gone back. Never go back. It's never the same. But how you know,
Yeah.
I don't like that kind. I don't ever want to see us in a position where we're going down there. Oh, let's get him back. Let's do this. No, come on. The future has to always be because that's what I said. Hamstrung us in the 90s. Looking back to the past. Looking back to the past. Always looking back. That's what stopped Liverpool progressing. In pure Ferris Bueller style. By the time they stopped to look around, Manchester United were 15 years ahead of us. Commercially, money
Mhm.
wise, because we always look back to the past. It's Liverpool. We'll always be this. No, it might be okay, but just you have to look forward. You have to move forward. Don't ever think there won't be another Jurgen Klopp because that's what killed us in the past. I'll always say that to Liverpool fans. Don't dream for the past. The past is gone.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. um, I'm trying to think of some players that made kind of that went and then returned to their teams and made an
What
actual impact.
players? Players that went back.
Yeah,
Um, Players that went back and were, I mean, Scholes retired, and I mean, Pops late to the building, but always welcome, Professor Dr. Pops. No streets tonight, by the way. Streets, gotta mark the streets down for a no-show.
I know, I know, I
Guaranteed.
know, I know, I know. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, hold on.
Maybe,
See this
maybe
thing.
like I would say maybe Ibrahimovic. Didn't he play for AC Milan twice? Didn't he go back to AC Milan and do well?
Ibra has played for everybody twice. Yeah,
Yeah.
oh Christ.
I
Yeah, no, he was
mean,
at AC Milan. He was at Inter, then he was at AC. Yeah, but this is the thing. Like you can pick out a few, but just as a general broad kind of, yeah, never go back. It never works.
I mean, yeah. I mean, again, you said Robbie Fowler, right?
Yeah, Robbie came back
Probably
after.
too.
Yeah, Henri went back, Drogba went back. You just gotta
You know, and I mean that was
Bushy a
like
little bit
Fowler
different.
being with at the time they weren't our rivals, but that was when he went and joined Manchester City, right?
Well, no, we sold him to Leeds, and then I think we brought him back. Then he ends up. Yeah, I say never say never. Yeah, yeah. Look, hey,
I thought he
it's
came after. I thought he was there like 3 or 4 years at City. I thought something like that, right? Maybe not. Maybe
no,
maybe I'm
no,
missing.
no. I think he left, and after us, he
No,
went
in
to the second
2006.
time with
In
us.
2006, he left and
This-
he left in what 2002, I think, or something, right? And then
He went to
Fowler,
Leeds, and
uh,
then he came back, and then he went to City, I think, or then he went to. Yeah, I think that's what
yeah,
he went to Leeds first.
yeah, he
He
went to
moved up to
City,
City.
and then he came back. Yeah, yeah, okay, all right. I want to make sure I had it right. All right, my head.
No, he went to
Um,
Leeds. Then he came back. Then he went to City. He didn't come back after. He never rejoined us after he played for City. He rejoined us after he played for Leeds. Then we sold him. But no, he was out.
okay,
Like by the time he went to Man City, he was kind of towards the end.
I don't think that's. I well,
I think
I'll
it's
double check,
happened.
but I think
Yeah, no, I'm not sure.
I could have swore it was the other way around in the sense of he went. I thought Fowler came back in January 2000. Came back in the January window of like 2006, and then but I could have swore it was. I could have swore he had been with City, and then that's when he came back. But you could be right too, though. You could be right. Um, you're normally
No,
right.
no, he
That's
did.
why
Yeah,
I
sorry.
don't
No,
know.
yeah, no, he did. No, he did. He went to Leeds. Then he went to City. Then he came back to Liverpool. Yeah, that was Cardiff. That was. I thought there was. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. He went to Liverpool, then Leeds. Then yeah, he went from Leeds to City, and then he came back to Liverpool. It just
Okay. I was gonna say
never really worked out.
I thought I was right, but
Jeez,
again, like when it comes to
Australia.
this kind of stuff, I usually go what Brian has
No,
to
I know.
say
Yeah,
because
yeah,
Brian
yeah. No, no,
has a better
no.
memory.
I know what.
Yeah,
No, I'm
yeah,
just
for
looking here.
sure.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time in bloody Australia, didn't he? Yeah, yeah. Robbie,
Yeah,
Robbie.
yeah,
We should
yeah,
never
yeah,
just never have let him go. That was the whole. He fell out with Houllier. You know, there was no need for any of
yeah,
that at all.
yeah,
He just. I mean, there was no need. I can never understood why he left. It just the one guy that
um,
none of the fans wanted him to go. He didn't want to go.
hmm
He went to a
hmm
crappier club.
hmm
You know, then he went to even a worse club. It's just like that should have been sorted. Like, yeah, he fell out with Houllier. It just that
yeah,
should have been sorted. You know,
yeah,
you,
true,
you
very
can
true.
just
Maybe you could even could you give a shout for me like I don't know about Henri went back to Arsenal, right? He played.
yeah,
He left and then went back, right?
yeah, he went back on a
And
loan.
then
Yeah, most
Peter
people forget
Crouch
that even
did
happened.
it too. Peter Crouch went. Peter Crouch played. Peter Crouch played for a lot of teams though. So
He played for everyone.
um,
Yeah,
yeah, he played for a lot of teams. But I remember he did go. He played twice for Spurs. I want to say right. Didn't he play? Didn't he do a two
oh, he played for
stint
Spurs.
with
Yeah.
Spurs?
Yeah,
And
like
then
like you're scraping around trying to find somebody that like it's just you just don't get
yeah.
that back.
I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to
Yeah,
think of player.
you never go
Yeah,
back.
because I mean, like
You never go
I
back.
think like yeah,
Even but
uh,
it's more about the
Kaká did it.
manager thing. It's more about the manager,
Yeah.
really,
Well,
in terms of
that's what I
never
was gonna
going back.
say. You know what team
Like
you probably say a
Ancelotti
lot.
has
You could probably use
Ancelotti has gone back to Real Madrid
yeah,
because Real Madrid just do things differently.
right.
So getting sacked by Real Madrid is
Right.
almost a badge of honor. It's so you can go back there and you can do your
Yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But for most
Yeah,
managers,
yeah,
like
yeah,
even
yeah.
Mourinho, when Mourinho goes back to Chelsea, holy hell, it's just like when you've done your thing at a club,
I was just alone.
like
My bad for
you,
Henry.
yeah, you just walk away. You say that's it. Don't come back two
Mhm.
years later and try and recreate magic because you'll ruin your legacy. That is the worst thing you can do.
Um,
Like Kenny almost did it, man. Kenny really
yeah, yeah, yeah.
almost did it. Like it was getting bad. It was like, no, Kenny, don't. We want to remember you for the good times. Don't come
Mhm.
back in 2007. Like he hadn't managed the club in a very long time. Don't come back and ruin
Maybe.
your legacy. You know,
Yeah.
just just keep us. Let us remember you as you were, even though you're trying to do a brilliant job. You like he won cups. He won two cups.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
you could tell he was a man out of his time because he hadn't
Hmm.
managed a club in like, a long time. So you just need to park the sentimentality that we
Yeah,
are
I got
famous
you.
for and which drives us and which is a big part of
Oh
our
yeah,
game.
you could say CR7
It's
did it. That's right, CR7 possibly. That's like the most recent too in memory.
oh he went back. Oh God, yeah, he brought the poison with him, didn't he? But anyway, yeah, look, just go with the future. Don't tie yourself to path. Just always believe that you can pick the next guy because
I was gonna say,
yeah,
you
I
know
kind of
what team you can see a lot. You spoke of like a coach. Chelsea is that team, you know, that had a lot of returns, whether it was coaches or even
yeah,
players as well. You know,
their turnover is
Drogba, David Luiz, um, who else left and returned on that team. I don't know if any of those players really had like stellar careers after they returned though, but
no, there's yeah. Look, once if you've gone and cemented a legacy somewhere and you leave, don't go back because you can never
what is this kind of
go back.
comment, by the way?
You
Spotslight
can
on his
never.
debut season. He says, perhaps I set the bar too high because I think there were
Yeah,
certain matches where I couldn't bring out the best in myself. Wow.
I think
That's
he
an
was saying what a
acknowledgement.
lot of us were saying was that he really came in on fire
Mm-hmm.
and he was not able to continue that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a pretty big way. It's like it shows a degree of confidence there.
Mm-hmm.
It's saying I set the bar too high because he's saying I was excellent when I came in,
Yeah.
which is yeah, he was. He was like
Yeah.
I said it. I said this guy looks like he's about 5 years older than he is, and he looks like he's spent the last 5 years playing in the Premier League. He looked totally at home. He didn't look overwhelmed. He looked like he was able to hit uh, all the peak kind of fitness levels that was required.
Mm-hmm.
He just looked made for the Premier League. And then it was okay, yeah, a bit of like we're talking about the graph earlier on. His line just kind of slowly went down, 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 down from
Mm-hmm.
a peak early on, and then he dropped way down. So you can agree with the kind of the point that what he's saying is maybe he overperformed at the beginning of the season because he's not going to come out and say, "Well, the manager told me to play in a position I didn't want to play," like someone said
Mm-hmm.
earlier. He was a pawn, but we can all see that he was been doing, defensive work. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that's the judgment on every like he was brilliant to start the season, but oh yeah, he didn't have tail off, did he?
Mm-hmm.
But I think
Yeah.
like I
Peter
said,
Kosh, sorry. Good.
no, the guy that next season go and see a
Mhm.
different player, definitely
Yeah.
a different
Hopefully,
football style next season. Yeah,
hopefully see that much different, much more experienced, more measured player next year from Dom. Hopefully, we can get that out of him. Crouch played for Portsmouth twice. He started his career at Spurs, but didn't didn't make an appearance until the second time. Okay. Well, then that's certainly a better
Oh,
time. If you didn't make any
I was just
appearances the
trying to think.
first time,
Didn't he even play for Villa? No, he didn't play for Villa. Yeah, Portsmouth, QPR, Liverpool, Stoke, Tottenham. Um, probably, I'm sure he played for someone else. Yeah, Crouch has had a mad career.
mhm,
When you like the loans that he's been on and stuff. Yeah, he's played for at least four different Premier League clubs by his own kind of
easily,
record.
easily, yeah, he's had a bunch, oh, a lot, definitely a bunch. Um, yeah, Lukaku, maybe. Anyways. Oh, and you know what? You know who else made a return, but it certainly wasn't as great of a return the second time around. And you could say, I'm gonna go. Oh, Bale, Gareth Bale played twice for Spurs, technically, right? But his first was better than his second, I think, certainly, as you said.
Oh yeah, he came back on loan. Yeah, came back on loan.
Yeah, came back on loan, and then like who else?
That'll be the
Sold.
theme, you see. It will always be the first the first uh the first time at the club is always the better one. No one ever comes back and is better than they were when before they left
Right.
at a high level. But yeah, it's
Maybe.
yeah, this has all come from the idea of Klopp coming back in 2 years' time,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
I
yeah.
hope because to me, I don't want this is again what I'll bring this back to not being a personal thing. This is to do with a state of the union kind of thing, state of the club. I don't want us to be in a position in 2 years' time where we're sending out the signal and people, oh, you need to get Klopp back. It's all gone badly wrong. You need to get Klopp back. You know, I don't want to see us in that scenario.
Oh,
And as
yeah,
much
yeah,
as
yeah,
like
yeah.
I know what people are saying about the romantic thing wouldn't be lovely, it's
Right. I
no, it
mean,
wouldn't be.
King Kenny became coach not because he became it
Exactly.
because he had put that team together. The coach had kind of like dropped
We
off.
had a problem.
We had a
We
problem,
sacked
and
Hodgson.
right,
We
and it
sacked
was like one of
Hodgson.
those things
We
where it's
put up the
like,
bat signal.
okay, this is your shit show. Why don't you go and make something of it? You know.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah. I
we
was gonna say this one. Yeah, yeah, Lampard twice as manager, certainly. That was a weird second time around. I was gonna
yeah, what
say
a success.
Jorginho at Middlesbrough too. Could be a shout.
Janino.
Yeah. He played there three times.
Yeah, loved it.
Played there three times.
Absolutely loved
Went
it.
back yeah. First spell was
No, everybody
1995 to
said like
97. Then he went out. Second spell was 99 to 2000 on a loan deal. Then he went out. Then he came back 2002 to 2004 for a third time. You know.
yeah, everybody said like this Brazilian guy is going to go to Middlesbrough because they went crazy with money when they were taken over by Steve Gibson, and they had a lot of money back in the day in the 90s, and they paid Ravanelli they took Ravanelli and they gave him 40 grand a week, which would probably be the equivalent of around 250 grand a week today. Middlesbrough,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
It was insane what was going on there. And they brought in some really good players. And everyone's like, this Janino guy, he's going to get to Middlesbrough. He's going to take one look at it, and he's going to say, get me the hell out of here. That's what everyone was saying. Like, this guy's from, like, Sao Paulo or whatever. Yeah, I think he's from Sao Paulo. He's from Brazil. Like,
mm-hmm.
Middlesbrough is a
Oh,
grim place. Middlesbrough is not nice, right?
uh,
And not only did he go there and love it, he went back 3 times. Like, everyone's like, why? It's like, you went there, they paid you a ton of money, and you got out. Now you want to go back. He's just like, yeah, I love Middlesbrough. It's brilliant. That's weird. Okay, okay, Janino,
Yeah.
like you should be playing for Barcelona. Yeah, Ravanelli and Emerson. Um,
You know who else? You know who else
it
is
was
a player?
crazy. It was crazy. But no, that one is just makes no sense. Why
Yeah,
Janino loves Middlesbrough makes no
yeah.
sense. Because even
Well,
people from Middlesbrough will tell you that Middlesbrough is not a pretty place. It's not a
hmm.
nice place to be. It's where you're from, but it's not. It's a pretty crappy place, basically. But for some
Mm.
reason, this little
Those are your words,
Samba
not mine.
legend.
Right.
Oh no, my word, no. But look, ask no seriously. Bob Mortimer, one of the biggest Middlesbrough fans of all time, he'll tell you like, don't worry, man. English people will happily tell you that where they come from is a shithole. They're
Yeah,
not
yeah. I
that
can.
proud.
I can do.
They'll tell
One
you
other
it's a crap.
name. One
But
other name I
Janino, I was
was.
just saying, bizarre for Janino to love it so much.
One other name I was going to put in the running then could be. Now I'm going to go blank on what years he played there though. Wayne Rooney returning to Everton
Right?
could be a shout.
A shout
It could
for
be a
what?
shout.
A success.
At a
Uh,
player returning and actually having a actually good result from returning, considering
really
he
scraping
went
the barrel.
there and he was Everton's top scorer that year.
That's really scraping that. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that one.
2017,
One right back.
2018. It's a long time.
That's
2002,
one player. One
2002,
guy.
2004, and then 2017, 2018. Sol Campbell maybe could be a shout too, maybe for Arsenal.
Another guy went back on a random weird loan. Yeah. Henri
Yeah,
Sol Campbell. They brought him back on weird loans. He won
yeah,
titles. Arsenal. All these players came back and never
yeah.
on a 6 month loan. I can't compare that. This is weird.
Austin, I'm already shouting that out from the gate. You can ask Antar Mizzi, by the way. I'm sorry. Dustin's saying we should be looking at Kang In Lee in case PSG move him on. Already there, brother. Already there. I am definitely sold on Kang In Lee. Kang In Lee plays for PSG. He formerly was of a Spanish team. I want to say it was MCA or Mallorca. Um, but Kangan Lee is a really talented player. He was someone that I was very high on before he got the move to France, and someone I'm still very high on. He is basically,
Got him.
if you were to like research him or to look him up, in the words of the South Korean press, at least, Kang In Lee is the next son. Basically, he's like the next son in their mind. That's how like dynamic this player could and can be. I that would be really 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 cool to see him
That's
come to this team.
yeah, that's their new model now. That's what's going to be much harder. They're going away from the Mbappe, Messi,
Yeah, the big
Neymar.
names. Yeah,
They're going to keep like I don't know if anybody really pays much attention to what goes on in France, but if you look at the list of players that were born within 100 miles of PSG, and
hmm
there's no other big team within 100 miles of PSG for some weird,
hmm
really weird reason. PSG is only like 25 years old, or not 20, 45 years
Oh
old,
yeah, the age
and the,
average age mean
but they're
yeah.
still only the club. They're Paris is one of the biggest cities in the world. France is one of the biggest footballing nations on the planet, and the
Oops.
biggest club in Paris was only founded in 1976. There's no there's no clubs in Paris. It's bizarre. It's completely bizarre that the biggest club in Paris is PSG, and it's only been around as long as I am. It's not much older than me. He's only a couple of years older than I am. And FC Paris is a club, but they don't, like, you look at Madrid, London, all these big cities, Berlin, Munich, Milan, Rome, they all have big clubs. But
Mhm.
if you look at the players that have come up in the last 20 years, 10 years, Paris is the world's biggest talent factory. The banlieue around Paris, the Ile-de-France, which is the area that surrounds Paris, you're talking about Mbappe. Mbappe, they didn't even have him. Tchouameni, Camavinga,
Mhm. Mhm.
all these boys that used to, some of the biggest French players in the world, they've all grown up within an hour's drive of PSG. And PSG didn't have any of them. They went out and spent all their money on Ibrahimovic, Valencia, or Messi, Neymar, all that stuff.
Mhm.
And they've missed out on all these. Kingsley Coman, they had Kingsley Coman. They let him go for nothing. He scored a goal that beat them in a Champions League final. It's just
Mhm.
this kind of stuff. They could have had some of the greatest players in the last 15 years. They didn't even have to buy Mbappe. They could have just spotted him as a kid. He grew up around the corner. Didn't do it.
Yeah.
They've
Valencia
missed out
and
on
Mallorca.
millions of players. Missed out on more. So
Yeah.
they finally copped on. They finally realized that that's not what their fans want to see. So they're going around one or two big players, but
And
they
then,
realized that
yeah. Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
reason. They could have had Tchouameni, Camavinga, Mbappe, and endless other players that have gone on for huge money without even paying a fee for them if they just spotted them and brought them up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they've gone now, but yeah, they'll have too many young players as well. So who's the
Yeah.
other guy? Is that Xavi Simons guy? Your man Huang, yeah, he's big news. The other guy, Zaire Emery. You know, there's a talent. There's something weird going on in that part of France at the moment, which is producing incredible footballers.
Yeah.
So yeah, to get one of those boys, they're going to charge because they can charge what they want if they want to keep him. If they
Yeah.
decide they
Yeah.
don't want to sell him, they can reject an agent.
I would love to see us get. I look. I think he's a talented player. I know that not everyone watches the French league. Um, I do watch the Spanish league from time to time. Out of all the leagues, I do watch the Spanish league. So I did see this player playing in the Spanish league. But like, I just I think he's a very talented player. He has pace. He was someone that we were interested in before he went to France. It just so happens that he ended up going to France and making obviously a splash with PSG. There's a lot of Asian players out there though that I really like. I do rate very highly. I think that it'd be nice to see us give them a real shot. I mean, the same way that Brighton gave what's his name, Matoma, right?
Mhm.
The same way they gave him a shot. I wouldn't mind seeing us give a shot as well.
But they
Taki
gave him
had
a
a
shot.
huh?
But they gave him they brought him in because he hit the numbers, not because he was Asian. Like
I'm not
they don't.
saying I'm not getting to a point where
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking because he's Asian. I'm just saying bringing him in because
No,
yeah,
but the Asian
because
guys
like the
like
Asian
the
market isn't
commercial stuff.
yeah, but the Asian
Yeah, yeah,
market
that's
isn't
right.
like the high name the big names in the Asian market other than Sun. Name some big names from the Asian market that you know of. Exactly. So my
No, I
point
mean, well, no, yeah, no, like, yeah, no, there are famous players, yeah, but
there
I
are
mean,
famous
like,
players. Not saying there aren't, but I'm saying
yeah.
that if
But
they
I'm
are
saying, do
going
you
to
bring him
be,
in because he's good or because he's commercially valuable?
oh, I'm bringing in Kangan Lee because he's good. I bring in
Yeah,
Kubo
I'm
because
not
they're
bringing them
good.
because they're,
But I'm
yeah,
saying that's just like the cherry on top of the sundae type thing. You know, um,
yeah. But
that
it's
that
we're
happens to
huge
be
in
that
Asia.
yeah that it would
We're
be
huge in Asia.
yeah yeah
Singapore is Singapore and Malaysia. We're huge over there.
right
We're huge. Like we're not like it. That's why we go to Singapore
Right, right.
and Australia and those places on our tours. We're
I
all
wouldn't
in
be
a
surprised if
huge.
Endo is one of the top, kit bought out there. I don't know. I don't have the numbers, but I wouldn't be surprised if Endo wasn't a top kit on the lines of him being, obviously the Japanese captain, but also being on a perennial club like Liverpool. And albeit PSG is a big name club because it's they win France and because Mbappe's there and such. So you're gonna get some notoriety that way. But yeah, Kang and Lee is bold and cold. Oh, big up to Sabiri in the house.
Yeah,
Big up to Sabiri.
Endo won't sell well in any of the former colonials because that's basically Japan ain't popular in
Mhm.
Southeast Asia because Japan is that country that used to invade them and try and take them over. So
Right.
he'd be big in Japan. It'd be like saying like an English player, he wouldn't be a big seller in Ireland, basically. If you know what I mean, it just
I
goes
think
back.
yeah. I think
But
yeah.
we're huge in South Korea, like Malaysia, Singapore. Like we're way bigger than
No,
Chelsea.
we're
I've seen the
huge. Yeah.
numbers, but
Singapore,
I've seen the
Thailand.
numbers on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are the biggest club in most of the Southeast Asian countries, and
Mhm.
Chelsea and Man United are in all the African countries and some of, and then you get the spread around. But we are,
Mhm.
for whatever reason, Singapore and Malaysia, which are enormous, and Indonesia. Sorry, I was saying Singapore. I mean Indonesia, and there's like 700 billion people in Indonesia. We're huge
Mhm.
over there.
Mhm.
Like we could sign freaking Miley Cyrus, and they'd buy the shirt. You know what I mean? They'd in Indonesia, they'd sell it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you can
Yeah.
get like if some guy that was good enough comes in and can break
Mhm.
that, like the last really big, like apart from the song, was your man Nakata.
Mhm.
Hidetoshi Nakata that went to Inter. He apparently like he's like as big as Brad Pitt in Japan or stuff. So some
Mhm.
people picked him up, like, but yeah, that
Good player.
market, it's like those are the guys. That's what the likes of Premier League clubs, they want people from those countries coming over. Every
Mhm.
week they want a different. Every second week they want a different five 500 people from Indonesia and South Korea coming over and just buying everything in the club shop and going on a tour and spending spending on it, extra seats and buying all the food and buying the jerseys and buying the memorabilia. You get that every week. That's what they want. Are spread over there. Yeah. But yeah, bring in that
No,
guy.
no, you're right. You're
Definitely.
spot on. No.
Kubo, that guy, your man Esteval. They're all talking about him going to. That's what I want to see. Wonder kids,
Yeah. There was another
young kids
player
like
too, and I'm gonna go
Esteval,
blank. I wish
Willian.
Mizzy was in the house. Would say again?
Esteval, Willian, the guy they're all saying is going to Chelsea. The next Ronaldinho, next whatever, next Neymar. I want to see us going after
Mhm.
those guys. So if it's Kubo, if it's this guy at PSG, yeah, let's go ahead and get these these type of guys. As well
Oh,
as
you know who it
making
is? I
advances.
just remember this name. I remember his name. This is the other player. Um, there was a shout for the Lazio midfielder from Kamada. That's a good shout. He's a very talented player. This is a player that we were in the market for, but we ended up for some reason not pulling the trigger on, and that was Nakamura. He's a really
Yeah.
talented player too. 22 year old, 23 now, I think. It's 22, 23, something like that. Going on 24 maybe. Um, yeah. But hey, you this is like maybe this could be a trivia question later on sometime
That's
when
the
people
one,
forget
bro.
about it. But do you realize that Taki was the first Japanese player to play for Liverpool? Did you know that?
Minamino.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 man. Yeah. No, that was 100%. Yeah, we'd never had any.
It's pretty. I
We've
mean,
had
Japan's been
very
a
few
good.
Asians.
Yeah, Japan has a lot of good talented players. But I mean, like
You know,
it's
we've
kind of
had
that's
very
what I mean by that's all I meant by the sense of like it's just the Asian market has talented players, but it's very rare that a lot of those talented players get to the level of playing for some of these top tier teams. I'm not
the
saying
best
it's
of
not possible, but it's saying that very.
no, it's the best of them do. The best of them, the cream rises, man. Cream rises. If you're good
Yeah.
enough. But yeah, no, Liverpool. We very rarely had any. Yeah, like yeah, obviously very rarely, but yeah, none.
Yeah, very
None.
rarely. As in, like, yeah, this is only our second Japanese player
No, no,
ever.
it's
Yeah,
yeah, it's but even I mean Southeast Asian, like Western or Eastern Asian,
yeah,
Japanese, South Korean, like we
yeah,
I don't think we've ever had anybody who've ever had South Korean player.
yeah.
Um,
Now it's gonna make me
they're
think of like,
just
have we had an
so
Asian
we
player before Taki? Was there an Asian player that played for our team?
well Asian would be so if it's Eastern Asian, say sort of Chinese or anything. No, it's because they were really good club. It's hard to get to the level where you're good enough to play for Liverpool
Hmm.
and to get all the way from uh, a league in Japan to get picked up and
Yeah.
get spotted and to be still be good enough. You've got to have a good agent. You've got to have a lot of talent. But
Hmm.
no, it like when you have football is littered with stories like this. It's like, well, we didn't really look at that market, and the next thing you know, Son comes out of there, and Park Ji-sung comes out of there, and so people, oh well, maybe there might be talent in that area. That's not, so they look at that and okay, but the
Yeah.
cream will
Yeah.
always rise. Cream will always rise. Like Alex Ferguson used Park Ji-sung in in championship winning teams. So if
Hmm.
yeah, Nakamura
No, I
went to
mean,
Bolton,
no.
great player. Nakamura went to Bolton, great. Hitachi
Yeah.
Nakata at Roma.
I mean, like I always liked
With that,
Kagawa. Kagawa was always an amazing player, but I mean, that's
yeah,
he
bad
went on
move,
to play
bad
for.
transfer.
I liked the when he played opposite Dortmund more so than when he played at Old Trafford.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it didn't work at
Um,
all. Didn't work for
excuse
him
me.
at all. Yeah, he went to Man United and it
Yeah.
just did not. Whatever happened, he was amazing at Dortmund. Like that Dortmund Klopp team was brilliant to watch. Kagawa, Lewandowski,
Maybe Okazaki. Okazaki's a shout,
absolutely.
maybe.
Oh, and Leicester, yeah, Leicester fans love him. He is a
Yeah.
genuine commentator at
Yeah.
Leicester. He really is. He was good on his day. I had him in my fantasy football team a few times. A couple of times he paid off. He's one of those guys who, when he was on a bit of a run, he was really good. But I loved watching him play. I really, Okazaki, yeah, he was a great little player to watch. He, you know, working hard and all that stuff. But yeah, really, really good.
Hmm. Maybe maybe Park Chi Sung.
That's the guy I was just talking about. That
This
Ferguson
guy you're
brought
talking
to
about? Yes.
Man
Yes.
United.
Certainly. He's
Yeah,
yeah.
he
And
used to
then
play him in
maybe
Europe all the time. They play 4-4-2 in England,
mhm.
and he would play 4-5-1 in Europe. And people thought it was
Mhm.
revolutionary at the time. This shows how quickly things change. People thought that was revolutionary. Playing
You said
four
the guy
four
from
two.
Bolton, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Nakata. Or yeah,
Mhm.
oh, Nakata. Yeah, but no,
No, no,
Park Ji-sung. He played him in Europe.
Chung Young.
Oh, then you the other young. Then you look at the other guy that went to Arsenal, the striker
Hmm.
when they bought a load of players in the last few minutes. Yeah, Inamoto. He was at Arsenal as well, but they bought another Park. Arsenal bought a Park. He was a striker. He came from Monaco. He was absolutely useless. He was really bad.
Yeah,
Um,
that's who we're just
he
looking
was
for.
another
Yeah.
South Korean. So there's a couple of the Park Ji-sung that played for Man United, and there's a Park Sung Ji or something that played for Arsenal.
Mhm.
Totally different players. One was really good. one wasn't. But yeah, Park Ji-sung was like the original
That's
Son,
cool.
but he just didn't have a load of goals. Son is the I think definitely, without a doubt, Son is the best Asian player to play in the Premier League. No doubt about it, by a mile. You know, Minamino, I think, could have had a good career if he
Yeah,
gone to
yeah.
a different team. Well, see, Zubi is saying that Kubo. This is where this whole thing started. Is
I know, I
Fernando
know.
Messi
I
and
know,
Kubo is
Zuby. You gotta watch. You gotta tune in. You gotta tune in to maybe some
I
of the
think
old episodes you might have missed out. Because
Kubo might have been a
everyone knows
flop target.
my Kubo love, my love of Kubo, of the
Kubo,
Japanese Messi.
Kubo, he may have been a Klopp target,
Yeah.
but I don't believe in that because I think it won't be manager target. It'll be club targets, and there has been a little bit more than um, oh they like him kind of talk,
Hmm.
but
Hmm. Yeah.
he's
There's.
somebody like I want to say I like these young wonder kid guys. Bring one of them in, the Kubo or an Estevan Willian or whoever it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, we want to see these guys. But yeah, bring one of them in. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Yeah. It'd be good. It'd be good. Well, people, that's going to bring us to an end on our 12th Man season award show. I hope that you guys all had a great time. A lot of great nominees, a lot of great winners. We're all winners in one way or another. You guys are all winners in my book. But all the same, there were some great nominees that took home some really great prizes, great awards. You know, hopefully we'll have some even greater names to join the likes of this next year. It'll be a fun run come up once we get into this 2025 season that we will be ever so quickly joining. But we still got 2 games, like I said. Let's make the most of these last 2 games. The away and home fixture that we have should be something of that. We have a Villa team that is fighting to hold on to top 4. They're going to certainly want to secure that against us. So it's going to be a hard-fought game. Hopefully we can win that one. And also, I especially want to win that Wolves game at home. It'll mean a lot to send our now winner of the Lifetime Achievement Award, Jurgen Klopp. It'd be nice to send him out on a high note, to say the least. Anything you want to say to the people before we let them go onto their final destinations, Brian?
No, just thanks for being here. Thanks for participating and putting your opinions in. Otherwise, it's just me and Dizzy talking to each other, making strange drum roll noises all night.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You could say he's saying Tanaka. I just saw the Zubiri comment. You could say also what's the guy who plays fullback for Arsenal? He's done really well. Him
Oh,
and
Tommy Asu.
yeah,
Yeah. I
he's done
wasn't
well for
calling him
them.
an idiot, by the way. I was only messing.
And then also
Tanaka.
The Wolves. Speaking of
Tanaka.
Wolves, Wolves have an Asian player that's really really done well for them this year too. So
Yeah, Wang Yichan. Yeah, Wang Yichan.
yeah.
Tanaka. I must have missed it. He's Callum squad player as well as good for first time or Brighton. Where's Tanaka playing? Tanaka. Don't know that.
Yeah.
Don't know him.
He plays for you know what? I don't know. I don't know who he plays for actually.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I thought he was saying plays for Brighton.
Yeah, he was saying he could be for choice for Brighton. Yeah, see, Wang Chan, I thought he was at that Salzburg team, wasn't he? Wang Chan
Oh,
and Minamino were playing for
he's in
Salzburg when we played them, and we bought
he's in
Minamino and
he's
Wolves
a
bought Wang
Bundesliga
Chan.
player.
Tanaka.
He plays for Dusseldorf.
Oh, okay.
Dusseldorf, actually.
Yeah.
Dusseldorf.
Yeah, Wang Yichan. Yeah,
Midfielder.
because we played them,
But
and
they're
it was
but
like,
they're a
oh,
second tier. They're second tier
yeah.
Bundesliga team.
No, I
So
just mean when we bought Minamino from Salzburg, and they had
oh
Wang
yes, yes,
Yichan as
yes.
well, and
Yeah.
Haaland was on that team, Wang Yichan, Minamino, and there was that whole story was going around that, when we signed him, this story comes out that, oh, apparently everyone in the dressing room after the game was going, oh, we need to sign that Minamino guy. He's brilliant. Like, yeah,
Mm.
okay. We ended up signing him, but uh,
I thought he was North Korean. He's
Haaland was
South
in that
Korean.
team. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Haaland was in that team, and Hwang Hee-chan was in that team. So Hwang Hee-chan
Mm-hmm.
goes off to Wolves. We get Minamino, and we were never getting Haaland. But yeah, that was a proper Salzburg team. Like, do you
Yeah, it
remember we
was.
played him in the Champions League? Haaland and everything. Oh, this is the guy. This is the guy. This Haaland guy. But they tried to spin it afterwards that everyone in the Liverpool dressing room was like, "Oh, forget that Haaland guy. You need to get that Minamino guy." But guess what? We just bought him for 7 million. Well, that's very convenient, isn't it? Yeah, when you look back at it, sometimes you can see the spin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you do want to send me things like as in links or whatever, because I don't know if you can put links in the comment sections for YouTube. But obviously, please do send whatever you can via comment to all these videos. But if you want to reach out and link with one of us, Brian as well, but more, if you want to link through me, and then I can link you to Brian as well. You can reach me on Twitter. You can find me at the Reds 12th Man.
Yeah.
It's right there, right here. The
Oh
Reds
yeah,
12th
sorry. Just to
on
be
Twitter.
clear, yeah. If you're not a mod, you can't put a link in the chat.
Right.
So basically, yeah, if you're a mod, if you want to make Stefano a mod, then he'll be able to just put a link in the chat. But yeah, if someone isn't a mod, they can't put any kind of links or anything like that, basically.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, if you are if you're sending mod, but yeah, otherwise there's no way to actually put it won't let you put anything in the chat.
Yeah, yeah. But even so, yeah. If you want to send me stuff, you can send me a link on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, what I'll do is I'll follow you back, and that way we can talk. That way we can communicate through direct messages and such. Otherwise you can just like leave us a comment if you don't want to do that, and just leave a comment on one of the posts that I make on Twitter, now known as X. But yes, big up to each and every one of you guys for joining us today. It was always fun time to get. It's always fun time to get dressed up and and give praises to a team that even when they lose, when they draw, when they win, they're still our team. That's just the bottom line. So so give them praises, give them thanks, and also show them some love in the sense of knowing that that's our team. We're born red. We're gonna die reds. That's how I see it. So so big up to each and every one of you for the support and for joining us today. We're going to be doing a fun game for the Throwback Thursday for our Back to the Watch Along on Thursday. So please do join us for our Back to the Watch Along presentation again on Thursday. It's going to be a game. It's going to be a game against a team that possibly will not be with us. So I figured we would make an effort to bring them in to at least get them their quick moment of glory of being on the screen with us. And I will also even reach out to actually one of their supporters. I don't know if he was. I don't even know if he was alive when the game took place. Much less if he was. He might be though. He might. but I'm gonna reach out to one of their supporters to see maybe if they want to participate in watching the game. I doubt. I don't know if he will, considering the result. But all the same, it should be a fun matchup Thursday. Yeah, and then Wednesday we'll do a Wednesday walk on Wednesday just to kind of get our legs stretched out and talk a little Liverpool football, and that'll be that. But until then, I say please do take care of yourselves so that you can take care of your loved ones in your life. It's important because each and every one of you, as a Red, means something to me, and I would love for you to always be walking along this journey that we make together. So big up to each and every one of you. We'll be back same time, same bat channel. And until then, up the Reds.